ahead of Saturday's grand final against Brisbane at the MCG. The veteran Cats ruckman declared available for selection after recently overcoming a hamstring injury. He was an emergency last week and could replace concussed teammate Tom Stewart. Hawthorn's Mabawar Chol has had his 3-week ban meantime overturned by the tribunal, meaning he's free to play in round 1 in 2026. Chol was suspended for a tackle on Geelong's Tom Stewart in the opening term of last Friday night's preliminary final that left the Cats defender concussed. It's approaching full-time in League Cup action this morning. Chelsea and Liverpool on the verge of advancing as they lead in their respective matches. Legendary cricket umpire Harold Dickie Bird has died at home in Yorkshire, aged 92. He officiated in 66 tests. And Sydney will host the Australian Athletics Championships in April next year. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, cloudy and 18 today, partly cloudy tomorrow and 20. Friday, partly cloudy 22. Saturday, a possible shower 19. Right now it is 13 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
I'm Professor Mike Steer, marine scientist. While we're experiencing this algal bloom, know that all South Australian seafood meets strict safety standards, so you can enjoy it from your local fish shop, supermarket or restaurant. Algae is a natural part of our ecosystem, and this bloom will eventually pass. Until then, we're monitoring it closely. To stay informed, visit algalbloom.sa.gov.au. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Right now at Formula Honda, drive away in the CR-V Hybrid 24 build from $56,900 or the Honda ZR-V Hybrid 24 build from $51,900. That's a price reduction of $3,000. Plus, get 8 years unlimited kilometre warranty and roadside assist across the entire SUV range. But you'd better hurry. These offers are only available until September 30. T's and C's apply. Test drive at Formula Honda today. Glen Osmond Road, Glen Osmond, or North East Road, Modbury.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Let's talk about Harvey Norman's September sellout. It's on right now. Grab yourself an HP 15S Intel Core i5 laptop. Super hot sellout price, now just $698. Genuine value and great for general use, including email, video calls, any office work, and for students. Or save $500 on the Lenovo Ryzen AI5 laptop with 24 gig of RAM and a 512 gig SSD slashed to just $998. Gamers, this one's for you. The Acer Nitro V with Intel Core i9 and RTX 4050 graphics is an amazing deal at only $1398. There are more sellout savings in-store and online.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
Live from Hindmarsh Square, it's 5AA Breakfast.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
6:07, good morning to you and welcome to Wednesday on 5AA Breakfast. It is the 24th of September. It is the, at most, second last day of our competition to give away AFL Grand Final tickets. Potentially, like they have each and every day this last week, they could go off today. Clue number 8 coming up a little bit later. Every chance this morning we are sending someone off to the Toyota AFL Grand Final this Saturday. Flights, accommodation, it all included. If you've got all the clues, you think you've got a guess, you might be right at this point in time, frankly, because there's a lot of information out there. We will give you another clue and another chance to win a little bit later this morning. We're going to be chatting with the Assistant Minister for AI in the state government. I don't think we've ever spoken to someone with that portfolio responsibility. Michael Brown, talking about free short courses to prepare the workforce to use AI. But what else does the minister do? What's in their purview? What are their concerns? What's the future of AI in South Australia? We've got a minister for it, so we'll be talking to Michael Brown before 7 o'clock this morning. Another volunteer organisation that supports a lot of South Australians has gone into administration, the MS Society. This is devastating for the people that these guys help each and every day. We're going to be chatting with Kerry Best, who lives with MS. Also today, mums react to the news out of the United States, the US now changing the recommendation regarding what they call Tylenol, we call paracetamol, and autism. We'll be chatting with an Adelaide mum of a child with autism about her reaction to that. Sean Fuster will be on the program. We'll go around the courts. David Koch will join us. We'll wonder what Koshy made of the Brownlow. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. I must admit, I did not realise that the state government had a Minister for AI. Was that a change that was made the other day in the reshuffle?
No, I think it's been
already there.
It predates that.
I had no idea. Well, we've certainly never spoken to the Minister for AI.
Well, I'm just trying. We've almost been doing this 10 years. It would only be this term of government that's it's only been the last 4 years in the 50 odd years of South Australian, 190 odd years of South Australian history that we've had someone that's a Minister for AI.
Yeah,
it's remarkable, really.
It's incredible. Is it a bit weird too, given the furor about Frank Pangallo's being caught using AI? We've got a minister for it.
Well, maybe the minister's there to make sure people don't become the next Frank.
Yeah, well, that's right. A cautionary tale.
Yeah, that's right.
How should South Australia? You just put an idea into my head, Will. How should South Australia celebrate its bicentennial? Because that's going to be here before we know it.
Another decade, haven't we?
So it was 1986 was. I always remember the word, the sesquicentennial.
Sesquicentennial.
A word everyone learned.
2036.
Back then. So, 2036, another 9 years from now. 11 years from now, 2025. Yes, plus 11 years. 10 years next year. Let's settle on that. That's a nice rounded...
Feels like a long way away, but, in perspective of long-term thinking, it's not like... Because I first thought maybe we could roll an AUKUS sub off the line and call it Adelaide, but no, we're still another decade away from that possibly being a reality, so we can't do that.
Maybe we just buy one off the shelf from someone instead, save a bit of dough.
And call it Adelaide.
Just write Adelaide on it with a big marker pen.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Sesquicentenary.
The sesquicentenary, yeah, you're right.
What was they had the mascot was called Jubilee Wombat, wasn't it?
No, I can't. I confess I can't recall that.
No, because a mate of mine was the Jubilee Wombat, or he's one of, I think there are a few of them. Yeah, it's a bit like Skippy. The dark truth about the Jubilee Wombat was I think there was more than one person dressed up as a wombat. He's now a really successful lawyer, and he was a really buttoned-down guy, this guy, really super, super smart. One of those guys, you met him, he was 18, going on 45 at uni. Just, always had his shirt tucked in. But
Is Jubilee Wombat in his LinkedIn profile?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it. Because
working backwards,
I think he in New York now.
Partner at high-powered York law firm, Adelaide Uni graduate.
But I always remember...
Sesquicentenary Wombat.
His name was Adam. He was the... his name is Adam. He was the Jubilee Wombat, but he was wearing this giant wombat costume down at the Marion Shopping Centre, making a bit of money while he was in... It was his last year of high school. And he... the wombat had these giant plastic, sort of real hard plastic paw hands. So he's inside the wombat and he's walking along, happy sesquicentenary South Australia, and he smacked a toddler in the back of the head.
Oh, no.
And knocked the kid, in the face, with the hand. And apparently the kid was, screaming. And the next thing you know is he's on the ground because the kid's dad loses it and just...
What, he got assaulted?
He got assaulted when he was the Jubilee Wombat.
Oh, no.
I should really track this guy down. Get him on air.
I like the idea that one day he's fighting a high-profile case in New York and someone says, he's Adam guy, he's big time. And then someone sitting there looks over and goes, wasn't he the Jubilee Wombat?
It's weird what you remember, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fair. What a story. The day the Jubilee Wombat turned bad.
That's right.
When
mascots attack, only on Fox Super 8.
Who's someone you've always wanted to meet? 8223 and who's someone you finally did get to meet? Because we have confirmation this morning that Donald Trump and Anthony Albanese are meeting on October 20. We don't have many details beyond that at this point in time, albeit the Prime Minister just spoke and we're going to be crossing to the US and we'll hear what he had to say on the other side of the break. But it's a meeting that's a long, long time coming. We want to ask you this morning at 8223 who's someone that you finally got to meet that you always wanted to meet? 8223 text us on the Police Home Care text line 0448 08 1395. It's a little bit of a awkward construction because I'm at this point not 100% convinced that either party's particularly excited about meeting the other one. It's now sort of a box ticking exercise. But for the purpose of this, who's someone you always wanted to meet?
There's so much interest in it now, isn't there? Like, we're getting unsolicited texts without, like, we come in and people, and on both sides of the political aisle, I mean, we've got people like Con saying, if the president of the universe eventually gives our PM a meeting, I hope Albo makes world headlines by walking out if the bully tries to do a Zelensky on him. And then you got people a little bit more cynical about and particularly in light of some of the comments that the president made overnight about green power. I like this from our good mate Rob about Mally's comments about the COP, the Environment Summit. Mally saying COP's almost as big as the Olympics, ignores one key fact: the athletes in the Olympics actually achieved something. Yes, so Rudd's announced that it's happening, hasn't he?
The White House announced it first, and now Anthony Albanese's just finished a press conference at which he's confirmed it.
Yeah.
So that is going to come up October 20. I wonder if Donald Trump will sort of use some of the rhetoric he used overnight at the UN. Did you hear any of this?
The green hoax.
And I'm telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail. And if you don't stop people that you've never seen before, that you have nothing in common with, your country is going to fail. Doing it because you want to be nice, you want to be politically correct, and you're destroying your heritage.
So, forthright feedback from the leader of the free world there. Let's take some calls. 8223 0000. Nick at Grange, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. I am walking at the Henley Beach, looking at the beautiful foam, the collection of foam on the sand, which doesn't seem to be disappearing too quickly. And there's three gentlemen in the water, not the professional swimmers, the ones that you see swimming up and down, but three chaps just bathing in the ocean, about chest high, and seem to be having a bit of fun in polluted waters.
So they're covered in foam.
Yeah, ridiculous. Can't believe it. The water looks pretty dirty. Bit of a pong to it, but they're in there having a crack. So right next to the jetty. You wouldn't catch me dead in there, mate.
Crikey. Wow. Oh, is this some kind of... inevitably we were going to get to the point that there was a new wellness fad that comes up. Some influencers start saying, you know what was good for my skin? Algal bloom water.
I was like swimming in the Dead Sea.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It opened my pores up.
That's right. Or like, what's it called? Sal de Ibiza.
Yeah.
Salt from Ibiza.
Wendy and Elizabeth, good morning.
Hello, good morning, boys. Lovely to hear you both.
You too, Wendy.
I'm a Sturt supporter, so I went to a NFL Grand Final on the weekend and bumped into Michael Graham, and he was my hero when I was 8, and I'm nearly 70 now. And,
Michael Graham.
It's your hero too, David, wasn't he?
Oh, my God. He's a beautiful man, and I got just to talk to him, and I said, can I have a selfie? And, yeah, that's fine, love. And he said, I'm still playing in the Northern Territory. And I said, I can't believe it. He said, you're my hero when I was a kid. So,
have you ever seen anyone as fast as Michael Graham, Wendy?
Never. The Flash, he was just brilliant. And I grew up across from Only Oval, so they were my heroes back in the day when I was a kid, and it was such a it was a treat just to meet him
amazing
accidentally.
Player.
So
that's a great call, Wendy. Thank you. We're asking who it is that you waited a long time to meet and finally got to, with the Prime Minister securing a meeting with Donald Trump. Sally's got a story for us. We'll hear from her after the break, and also across to the US to hear from the PM himself.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
Wow! Kia's most awarded SUV just got better. The Kia Sorento. Visit kia.com.au to find out more about the 7-seat Kia Sorento.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Bathroom Renovators Warehouse.
Looking for a stunning new bathroom? Want the high-end look without spending a fortune? BRW can design and renovate your bathroom from start to finish at a budget that suits you. Visit our showroom today and see our beautiful new bathrooms on display. BRW, beautiful bathrooms at warehouse prices. 16 Research Road, Karaka.
We are BRW Bathroom Renovators Warehouse.
How good is this? This is Australia's oldest field day and it keeps getting better. The York Peninsula Field Day is a must for anyone in ag, but you don't need to be a farmer to love it.
3 big days at Pascaville, Tuesday 30th September to Thursday 2nd of October. There's over 500 exhibitors across a massive site with the latest machinery and tech, plus lifestyle and entertainment all day.
There's so much to see: working sheepdogs, shearing, drone demos, the tractor pull, and a steam tractor in action, and you can browse clothes, jewellery, crafts and food.
Authors Mem Fox and Tricia Stringer are appearing, and there's plenty for the kids with the Little Ag Play Space and the Greens Plains Children's Track.
Gates open 9 to 5, parking free, kids under 12 get in for free, teens $5 with adults 22 online or 25 at the gate. Visit ypfielddays.com.au and buy your tickets today.
Fuel cards, receipts. Why does managing a fleet feel like I'm building flat pack furniture? Without the instructions. Don't ask why, ask Wex. Wex Motorpass is the one card that works for everything. No fuss, no piles of paperwork, just streamlined fuel management across Australia. Finally, a fix that doesn't need an Allen key. Search Wex Motorpass. Terms and conditions apply.
For over 50 years, Gliderol has been manufacturing and installing garage doors for South Australian homes. Spring is almost here, so why not improve the street appeal and value of your most prized possession? Order a new Gliderol door with operator before the end of September and you'll receive 2 extra handsets. Plus, we'll remove your existing door for free. Call Gliderol for a free measure and quote on 1300 799 144 or go to gliderol.com.au. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
21 after 6, we got word initially from the White House that the Prime Minister and Donald Trump will be meeting in Washington on the 20th of October. The Prime Minister confirmed that just a short time ago.
As I've said, President Trump agreed to a meeting some time ago. We had another chat about it on the phone. And we'll have a meeting in Washington, D.C. on October 20.
Mark Riley for 7 News is covering the Prime Minister's trip in New York. Mark, thanks for your time this morning. The Prime Minister finally got his meeting.
Morning, guys. Yeah, he did, and it was the White House that announced it. I guess it's a protocol thing that Anthony Albanese didn't want to jump the gun and make the announcement himself before the White House didn't want to get offside with them before he gets through the door, and it's been a long journey, a long way to get through the door of Donald Trump's second White House. So that's locked in now. October 20 means another separate trip to the US for Anthony Albanese. He's already got half a dozen trips overseas between now and the end of the year and summit season. One more, but one that he's pleased to lock in, no doubt, because the criticism of his inability to secure that meeting was really building, guys.
Yeah, it was. Yesterday the piece is running saying it's officially a stump now. Hey, Mark, so when the meeting happens, is it going to be, next to the fireplace at the White House? Is that the spot?
Well, the thing is, with Donald Trump, it's a bit dangerous, isn't it? If the fire is lit, you wonder whether you get thrown in it when you go into the Oval Office with him. So they probably hope not. Yeah, not the sort of fireside chat that leaders are normally engaged in. But hopefully, it's what happens normally, though, on the serious level in those meetings, is that the Prime Minister will go in with the President and senior officials, Secretary of State, Secretary of Defence, Secretary of Commerce, and they will discuss a whole range of issues. The two leaders then break off and have a chat. They often have a wander around the grounds in the Rose Garden and talk about things. They then go into the Oval Office for an official one-on-one meeting. That takes somewhere between about 40 minutes and an hour. Donald Trump, as we know, likes a bit of a chat. It may go longer than that. And then we're all called in to the Oval Office or squashed in there, and they make some statements in what the US media wonderfully call a spray. And with Donald Trump, the spray is often of such a a variety that people get wet.
Yeah, well, the spray's often more like the Australian spray, which is a gobful.
Exactly.
Good stuff, Riles. Mark Riley, the 7 News political editor in New York. I reckon the scariest thing for Albo with this meeting, particularly after the speech that Trump gave overnight in New York at the UN General Assembly, it's not the set piece stuff, it's the unscripted stuff, because they've got very limited points of commonality on things like, well, the environment. Like, Trump would regard Albo as a woke idiot.
Ukraine?
Like, if we weren't... well, I don't know. What's his position now? Didn't he say
overnight he seems to be very bullish on Ukraine winning the war all of a sudden.
And getting all its territory back.
Yeah.
He's got the hallmark of the stupid person, though, which is that his opinion about something always almost exactly mirrors that of the last person that he's spoken to.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
A lot of parroting going on.
Yeah. Because he's spoken to Ukraine again overnight.
Yeah,
he's spoken to Zelensky.
So he's got some good talking points.
So all the Zelensky ideas are in his head. I mean, he might have a phone call from Putin in 2 days' time, though.
And he'll talk about how much territory they're going to have to concede.
Yeah, Russia's really been dealt a hard deal here. But yeah, for Albo, like, what's the chit chat with Trump? I think Trump would just, if we didn't have a relationship between Australia and the US, and you were just telling Trump in abstract about this person called Anthony Albanese, he's the kind of person that Trump would instinctively denounce as woke and useless.
Yeah, the only the counterpoint to that again is Keir Starmer. You'd think if anyone would be considered woke and useless by Donald Trump, it'd be Keir Starmer in the UK, and that relationship seems to be quite a good one, at least publicly.
But isn't that because they distracted him by putting on the horse and carriage and getting him in front of the king?
That's true.
And Trump was
what's the equivalent we can do?
I'm the first guy who's ever done one of these things.
Yeah.
Apart from the other.
Maybe we're going to take him to the Barrier Reef and say, no one's ever been snorkeling here.
You know what Trump would have liked? He would like to go to the AFL Grand Final.
Yeah.
That would have been his speed. Get him down there throwing a ball and walking out. Don't know what sort of reception to get.
Well, yeah, you never know. He's full of confidence, though. Have a listen to him at the UN overnight.
It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. I can tell you. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
It's quite a soundbite. The Prime Minister has secured a meeting with Donald Trump, though, so it's got us wondering, among our listeners, who's someone you always wanted to meet that you finally got to? Sally in Hillcrest has been waiting patiently on the line. Good morning to you, Sally.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thanks, Sally.
When I was a teenager, I was absolutely smitten with human nature. And I happened to be at another radio station with my mum, and they happened to be doing an interview, and we didn't realise, and we got locked in the front office so that they could come in safely. So I actually got to shake hands with all the guys and have a 10-minute chat with them before they went and did their radio interview.
Oh, how cool is that?
That's amazing.
Human Nature. Good band.
Yeah.
Wrote some cracking songs, didn't they? They broke up, didn't they, Sally?
No, they're still together.
Are they?
Wow. Yep, they've been over doing Las Vegas and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, right.
But no, they're still releasing music, still singing together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good stuff, Sally. Thank you for that. And big thanks too to Andrew for calling in. There's burst water main on Northeast Road in front of the Walker's Arms Hotel. Notably, there's no crews on the scene yet, so that one is just freely flowing. Andrew, thank you for that. Anything you spot out on the road each and every morning, we appreciate your intel. 8223 0000. You can text us on the Police Home Care text line 0448 08 1395. The weather for today, we will chat with the Bureau shortly. 13.1 degrees at the moment, so significantly warmer at this moment than it was 24 hours ago. Top of 18 today with possibly a mill of rain. Very slight, though, a 20% chance, the Bureau of saying, of any rain. Let's talk sport. Tom Wren's in the studio with us. Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September. Receive 2 extra handsets. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. Boys, Brisbane are going to head to Melbourne today, head to the grand final. We'll talk perhaps a little bit more about the GF and our tips and, the teams coming out tomorrow, and we'll do that perhaps tomorrow as we get closer to it. Going to be a big game. We know that in the AFL world. Bit disappointing, of course, we don't have the Crows there. Nonetheless, the story I wanted to talk about today, though, is the goings-on. The Adelaide 36ers, so much buzz and hype about, their season. And it looks like one of their star imports, Montrezl Harrell, it's all about to end with the Adelaide 36ers. So I think the club my understanding is, and Will, you obviously know a lot about basketball. I think it's all about to end fairly acrimoniously. The club's trying its best to make it look like, everything's all fairly okay. It's just a bit of a natural end. But I think the issue, as you know, Will, is I think there's in basketball teams, like footy teams, but probably more so in basketball teams, everyone wants to be top dog, top cocky. And I think now with Bryce Cotton, DJ Vasiljevic, Isaac Humphries, other players in there, I'm not sure Montrez has come in and adapted.
Do you think that's the reason why he's...
I think it's a major contributing factor.
Is that right?
I think there's some big issues.
So I was perhaps naively taking it at face value that the Chinese doping ban that was looming over him meant that he was going to be, and because he's taken to Twitter, I saw, and he blasted Sports Integrity Australia saying they're the ones holding me up. And he'll miss 2 or 3 months. Right.
I think there's a bit going on. I think the club might be keeping mum on a few issues, but
okay,
I'm not so sure.
I don't know about that. I actually thought he was really encouraging what he said. I felt like he was ready to really embrace 36 when he was ripping into Kendrick Davis for his comments when he left for Sydney about how the club hadn't looked after him. Okay, that's disappointing if that's the case. Well, there's a basketball reason too. There's a chance they can balance out the roster a little bit better.
Yeah, and that's right. And they can still get an import if they lose him.
Yes.
But their first game is coming up this weekend, so it's going to be tight.
Well, they were. And they still might be. But they were unbackable favourites to win it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
they got the best player in the competition who's naturalised now in Bryce Cotton. They had a gun import in Montrez Harrell, a terrific supporting coach. You mentioned DJ and Isaac Humphries and so forth. And they got a great coach in Mike Wells.
It's disappointing to lose a player this close to the start of the season, isn't it? So
total disaster.
First game, everything, finally, first time in probably 15 years that there's genuine excitement about the 36ers. But they'll still get packed crowds and they'll go great, but they're going to have to do some work behind the scenes now to sort everything out.
It was a little bit intriguing. I watched that game where they played against Panathinaikos,
yes,
the Greek side.
Pre-season, just last week.
The pre-season game where they played that, there was a Belgian bloke in the import, just as a sort of a guest position. He wasn't officially on the team, but I think he originally had a contract with South East Melbourne, and he got cut. So he's floating around as an import in Australia, and he kind of appeared in that game despite not actually being on the roster. That was a sort of an eyebrow raiser, I thought.
Yeah.
So, that's disappointing to hear, Rennie.
Well, we'll see, but I think there's a bit happening.
Interesting. All right, come on, 36ers. This is your year.
Yeah.
I still believe.
Good.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Cloudy and 18 today with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Treat dizziness, vertigo and motion sensitivity with vestibular physiotherapy. Visit neurophysio.com.au, part of Physio Extra Group.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese will formally meet with the US President next month. Jonathan Kersley has the latest from New York.
The date has been set for the first formal face-to-face meeting between US President Donald Trump and Anthony Albanese, and it will be October 20. The Australian Prime Minister is in New York for the United Nations General Assembly, attending the President's speech earlier today.
President Trump agreed to a meeting some time ago. We had another chat about it on the phone.
Australia's Prime Minister could still see America's Commander-in-Chief in a matter of hours at an evening reception on the sidelines of the UN.
More big changes at Golden North. Not only are they moving production from Laura to Murray Bridge, they're expanding beyond ice cream. The company is looking to enter the cheese market. Their new site in the Hills is a former dairy, and Golden North also purchased the cheese-making equipment. Their workforce is forecast to double within 5 years. Unprecedented security in the CBD is what hosting COP31 next year will bring to Adelaide. A city exclusion zone impacting the railway station has been flagged. The climate summit would bring up to 50,000 people here. Premier Peter Malinauskas has told Nine it's one of the biggest gatherings of its type in the world.
Of course, there will be a big security requirement in the city. There'll be major implications for the way the city moves.
200 Westpac bank tellers are facing the axe. The bank is expected to introduce concierges to its branches to assist customers use its app or website for basic banking services. The Finance Sector Union says the move will strip away essential face-to-face banking and put profit before people. Industry experts say the onus on protecting Australia needs to fall on those inside the gambling industry. An Australian Gambling Research Centre study has found we lose more money per capita than any other country in the world. Research fellow Dr. Gabriel Tillman says public education campaigns and staff training exist.
Some of the infrastructure for that is there already. So the NCPF set the stage for staff training and things like that. And so we could kind of evolve that regulation to become what is needed now.
Almost a third of Australian children have viewed porn online. The eSafety Commission has released a report finding some as young as 10 years old have been exposed to sexual images or videos online. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with Operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Brisbane co-captain Lachie Neale has moved a step closer to playing in Saturday's grand final after getting through training at yesterday's session. The Lions will fly to Melbourne today ahead of the game. It's also looking likely Reece Stanley will be available for Geelong after missing last week. Let's stick with footy. New Essendon President Andrew Welsh insists the Bombers are not rebuilding as they try to convince Want-Away captain Zach Merritt's success is not far away. The Bombers are set to lose Sam Draper to Brisbane as free agents and have recently delisted veterans Todd Goldstein and Dylan Shield. Will says that after they are preparing to contend again in 2026 on the back of a season ruined by injuries.
I'm not convinced around a rebuild. We've got some high-quality young players that we've been able to draft in. We're building capacity within our salary cap to target some high A-grade players, but also make sure that we're bringing in multiple A-grade players.
The Wallabies are determined to reclaim the Bledisloe Cup for the first time in 23 years. To keep their hopes alive, they'll need to beat the All Blacks on Saturday at Eden Park, where they have not won since 1986. Winger Max Jorgensen says they're aware of how long it's been since Australia held aloft the cup.
Yeah, I think everyone knows about it. It's pretty known within the group, and it really gives us a good opportunity this weekend to go out and win it back.
And it's full-time in League Cup action this morning. Liverpool 2-1 winners against Southampton. Chelsea also winning their third-round match with a 2-1 win against Lincoln City. Brighton, Cardiff, Wolverhampton, Wrexham and Fulham also had wins. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, cloudy and 18 today, partly cloudy tomorrow 20, Friday partly cloudy 22, 19 with a possible shower on Saturday. Right now it's 13 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Yeah. 24 minutes to 7, 822 300 as our number. You can text us on the police home care text line. It was an eclectic collection of texts, I've got to say, over the first 30 minutes of the program this morning. We had the breaking news about the Prime Minister meeting Donald Trump. There was a bit of thought about that, about people who have met someone that they always wanted to meet, a bit like Anthony Albanese finally getting to meet Donald Trump on the 20th of October, and a host of other things as well, including Mark in Para Hills. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. Rest in peace, Dickie Bird, the great cricketing umpire, one of the great characters of Test cricket, who was... How many generations feel a connection to Dickie Bird, do you reckon?
Well, he umpired for decades, didn't he?
Yeah.
And just such a wonderful demeanour. He sort of personified the niceness of cricket, didn't he?
Like the gentlemanly...
Yeah.
He tells there was a great story in 9 newspapers this morning when he spoke about, speaking of the niceness of cricket, he had to have a word with Merv Hughes once. He says, I did a Merv with him. He was bowling to Graham Hick, who kept playing and missing. And Merv's language was getting worse and worse, and Dickie Bird had enough. And he turned to him and said, I want you to be a good boy. Don't swear anymore. And Merv looked at him and said, Dickie Bird, you are a legend. I won't swear again. The very next ball he came in, Hick played and missed again. And Dickie said, never swear again. I've never heard language like it in my entire life. His last test was at Lord's against England-India in 1996. Do you know he was the umpire at the bowler's end when Shane Warne delivered the Mike Gatting ball.
The Gatting ball of the century.
It was Dickie Bird who was there.
Wow.
At 92 years of age, he passed away. One of the great characters of sport.
Valet Dickie Bird.
Yep, indeed. This is an intriguing story out of our very own Flinders University. I say our very own, Dave. We both went there. 6 internationally recognised marine scientists who are researching the toxic algal bloom are set to lose their jobs at the university. I would have thought there's no more pressing work in South Australia at the moment. Jochen Kemp is the Associate Professor at the College of Science and Engineering at Flinders University and is one of those that's been told he's being laid off. Jochen Kemp, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
We're good, thanks, Jochen, although it doesn't sound like things are too good your end. Now, we've spoken to you before about the algal bloom, and you were incredibly informative and well educated on what's going on with algal blooms. Why on earth have you guys been laid off?
So the bigger picture, in my view, it's a move of this university, not only this, also other university, away from knowledge-focused research to product-focused research. So what I'm doing, I'm a physical oceanographer, by the way, the only one in South Australia. You know, if your listeners wonder how many of that caliber or skills are around here, no, I'm the only one. You know, but my research does not produce a product that I can sell. So I actually produce research, knowledge, and understanding, and my knowledge I teach my students, and I provide that information for free. You know, people can look up my paper. And so that's the leadership of Flinders University and other universities. They're sort of, I think they lost the track of what society needs, and the uni does not understand the needs of society, because it's not about products, because there are certain things that you can't, there is no engineering solution for it. You can't solve this algae bloom crisis with an engineering solution. And climate change is another example. You can't solve it, but some people live in La La Land, and it's all about money and products and stuff. And this is actually a big attack. There are actually 27 positions are targeted at the college in total. And if you look that way, it's not official. The names are not known. But if you look at the people that I know, they're all doing knowledge-based research. There are researchers that study whale behavior and dolphin behavior. You know, and everybody, and the other ones that are actually creating a product like a shark repellent swimming vest or stuff like that, they are not targeted.
So do you think it's part of, are we seeing the commercialisation of universities, do you think, Professor Kemp? Because it feels like unless they can put some sort of private sector money behind it, they're saying, well, we're not going to pay for pure research anymore.
Yeah, but that's the other issue, you know, the funding and so on. There will be the big companies funding. But, I mean, it's the understanding. So there will be people developing products or wind farms for the ocean, and they don't have any clue of how oceans operate. You know, with the algae bloom, I'm actually the only person who used the scientific method to predict the spreading of the algae bloom. It's all documented. Your listeners can look it up, can learn what methods are used. It's all about the scientific method and evidence base.
Well, you pointed out first, did you not, that this isn't going to we're not going to wake up one day and it's going to be gone.
Exactly. You know, it's all based on the scientific method, and I also understand why. It's not about people just saying things. You know, we live in a world where people just say, oh, maybe it was an event 10 years ago, or maybe it was this or that, or the diesel plant. And that's all rubbish unless you can prove it, you know?
Totally.
And I use that all the scientific framework, and what you actually learn is so first of all, it's not in the open ocean. It can't go anywhere. You know, in the open ocean, if it's away in the deeper ocean, it's actually the mixing, or eddies we call them, can actually disperse the algae bloom horizontally. And that's a big look. I'm just to give you that example. I'm the person who understands these physical details, which are so important. And the university says, "Oh, we have 20 other people working on the algae bloom." No, you're not. You only have one person who understands the ocean physics. Only one. And these people, sometimes I think they sit in their golden chairs, with the super high, the leadership. They earn way more than professors, and they sit around there, and they actually lost the understanding of what's really needed, or what people do, what their own staff do, what their skills are. And for me, it's so disappointing.
Well, it sounds incredibly short-sighted by the university, Professor Kempf, and we'll keep paying attention to what's going on at Flinders, because it doesn't really sound like it's in keeping with the spirit of how that university started. It was a sort of cutting edge, out there taking unique looks at different issues and emerging challenges across a whole range of areas. Associate Professor for now from the College of Science and Engineering, Joachim Kempf, being told that he's been laid off.
I'm sympathetic to universities who want to sponsor research that might have practical benefits to society, because one of the criticisms of a university are these flights of fancy sorts of research that get done into, the cultural impacts of breakdancing. Okay?
Yeah. Don't you say anything rude about the Spanish department at Flinders?
No,
young man.
That said, I would have thought an area of science with some pretty real practical application in South Australia right now might be algal bloom expertise.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of area that I imagined would go by the wayside. It's they cast a more commercial view over all the things that are offered and sponsored and supported.
I wonder if this is part of a bigger malaise, and I'd call it a malaise knowing that a lot of our listeners wouldn't think it's a malaise at all, because both sides of politics federally have been having this sort of moronic bidding war to see who can ban the most international students from coming into Australia. You know what underpins research and development funding in this country? International students. So we will know less about things like the algae bloom if we have fewer international students coming here. The unis make less money, which means the unis have less money to spend on things like what Professor Kempf is doing. And we'll go, yeah, well, these overseas students are coming here. It's too hard to find a park now on Goodger Street or whatever. Okay, well, that's one part of it. Do you want to know stuff? Do you want smart people who know stuff? Because you don't know stuff without money. And you don't get that money as a uni without international students. Unless we as the taxpayers want to go, all right, we'll pay Professor Kemp's salary ourselves, along with the list of the billion other things we've got to pay for through our taxes. So that's the economic reality of this race to the bottom on the apparent menace of international students.
14 minutes to 7. I'm going to check traffic, police and weather coming up in just a moment. Remember, grand final ticket clue number 8 is not too far away.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. Road's looking really good today. We're actually breakdown free, so that is a nice start to the day. Do have some works at Grange to look out for. Grange Road near Pearce Street. A little bit slow at Seacliff this morning. Ocean Boulevard near Clubhouse Road just near the golf course. And look out for works at Flinders Park. Holbrooks Road near Grange Road. Speeds at 40 k's through there. Always slow in the morning. Cameras, Griffiths Drive, Moana and High Street at Wollonga. Do you or someone you care for need complex mental health support? SANE can help. Choose from a range of free digital and telehealth support services. Visit sane.org today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
At IGA, we've got specials that are special to you. Like Nescafe coffee sachets, 8 to 10 packs, selected varieties, $4 each, half price. IGA, you can't beat local. Offer in September 30. Participating stores only. Excludes Foodland.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Let's talk about Harvey Norman's September sellout. It's on right now. Grab yourself an HP 15S Intel Core i5 laptop. Super hot sellout price, now just $698. Genuine value and great for general use, including email, video calls, any office work, and for students. Or save $500 on the Lenovo Ryzen AI5 laptop with 24 gig of RAM and a 512 gig SSD, slashed to just $998. Gamers, this one's for you. The Acer Nitro V with Intel Core i9 and RTX 4050 graphics is an amazing deal at only $13.98. There are more sellout savings in-store and online.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Are you tired of scrolling through countless websites trying to plan your next holiday? The local travel experts at Spark Travel are just a call away, ready to listen, guide and handcraft the perfect getaway for you.
Based right here in Adelaide on King William Street, Spark Travel's proudly local with plenty of experience helping South Aussies turn travel dreams into reality. Their personal approach makes every journey simple, comfortable and stress-free. From leisurely day trips to spectacular international getaways, they'll make sure your holiday starts the right way.
So reach out today for a chat and start planning your next getaway with Spark Travel, where every journey begins with a conversation. Call 8876 5121 or visit sparktravel.com.au.
Agostino Mitsubishi's demo clearance sale is on right now with loads of demo vehicles that must go.
They're absolutely overstocked, so why pay full price when you could drive away with a feature-packed demo model for less?
Plus, they're including 10 years warranty and cap price servicing with any demo car purchased during the sale.
Agostino Mitsubishi's demo clearance sale is on now. Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes. Hurry, stock won't last.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Ten minutes to 7. Let's head to the Weather Bureau. Jenny Horvat is on duty this morning. Jenny, what does Wednesday and the rest of the week have for us?
Yeah, look, it's pretty stable out there at the moment. Weather being dominated by a large high-pressure system currently sitting in the bight there, maintaining a little bit of an onshore airstream. So we're seeing a bit of a cloudy start out there, but we should see a little bit of sunshine poking through later in the day. That minimum temperature got down to 12.9 degrees just after 6 a.m. Currently it is 13.1 at the West Terrace Nidapura observation site. We are aiming for a top temperature of 18 degrees in the city and northern suburbs, 17 along the coast, 18 on the forecast for Mount Barker. That high pressure system overnight will start to drift eastwards, but still going to be dominating our weather. So again, maybe a bit of a cloudy start, maybe some isolated fog patches tomorrow morning, but it should clear up again to a pretty sunny afternoon, and hoping to get a top temperature of around 20 degrees on the Thursday there, minimum of around 11. A little bit more cloud around on Friday. It's a bit of a weak system moving through. Look, we've penciled in a light chance of a shower there, probably not expecting too much with that. We are looking at top temperature of around 22 degrees. On Saturday, though, there is another cold front, mostly clipping the south, but we couldn't rule out a little bit of light shower activity coming through during the day. Not expecting too much with that, and the timing's still a little bit up in the air, so we'll see how we go with that. And again, the lingering chance for a little bit of shower activity on Sunday. We're looking at weekend temperatures of around 18 or 19 degrees, maybe something a little bit more promising for some rainfall early next week, but again, we'll see how that evolves there, guys.
Good stuff, Jenny. Thank you. Jenny Horvat there from the Weather Bureau.
All right, let's head to St. Paul. Senior Constable Daniel Isaacson, joins us. Daniel, two break-ins at medical facilities.
That's right. Just after 3 a.m. this morning, police responded to an alarm activation on Brighton Road and on arrival found that a chemist had been broken into. About 40 minutes later, just before 4 a.m, police responded to another alarm at Darlington where they discovered that the suspect had forced entry into a medical centre. Patrols with the assistance of the Dog Operations Unit searched both areas but were unable to locate any suspects. Police crime scene investigators and Southern District detectives will be attending the scenes this morning. Now, police believe that these incidents are linked and ask anybody with information to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000 or report it online.
Do you have any intel that you can share, Daniel, about exactly what they were trying to steal?
No, we don't at the moment, but we are still investigating the matter.
And also, Daniel, 2 people have been arrested in the northern suburbs.
That's right. About 4:30 this morning, Northern District Patrol spotted a Ford sedan driving along Womma Road at Davern Park, which appeared to be evading police. The Ford was followed to a home address at Andrews Road at Elizabeth Downs, where the driver exited the car and attempted to run inside. Officers stopped the man at the front door, where it's alleged he refused to provide his name and continued to make attempts to go inside. While patrols were attempting to arrest the 20-year-old, another man from the address allegedly tried to prevent the officers from making their arrest, and he was also arrested. The 20-year-old driver was charged with driving whilst disqualified, failing to state his details and resisting arrest, while the 47-year-old man was charged with hindering police. Both men were bailed to appear in the Elizabeth Magistrates Court on November 3rd, and the Ford was impounded for 28 days.
Good work there by SAPOL. Senior Constable Daniel Isaacson, thank you for that.
TAFE SA are launching a new free short course that is the first of its kind in Australia. It's called AI Essentials, getting started with artificial intelligence. It includes an introduction to give you a bit of a sense of how the technology works. It raises ethical considerations, talks about how to use the program safely as well, and also it means we get an opportunity to do something we haven't done in 10 years of this program. That's interview a South Australian Assistant Minister for Artificial Intelligence. That role is Michael Brown's, and he joins us now. Michael, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for joining us, Michael. So, in a nutshell, I'll spit this question out eventually. What's your job entail? Is it about how to apply, or rather how not to apply AI on sections of the public service?
That's a large part of it, true. Yes, it's also about coordinating AI policy across government and making sure that we take advantage of the opportunities that AI presents while also being careful of the dangers that it represents too.
How do you strike that balance? Because, I mean, that's the question that every government in the world's grappling with at the moment. You want to legislate protections, I imagine, but at the same time you don't want to strangle innovation and potential productivity gains.
Yep, you got it in an absolute nutshell. That's the idea. It's not easy, but I think we're doing pretty well here in South Australia.
What's the PSA, the Public Sector Association, think of the use of AI? Is there a industrial sort of demarcation that's emerging at all with it yet?
The conversations I've had with industrial organisations, and while I haven't specifically spoken to the PSA, I have spoken to a number of others, is that they're interested in the extra productivity gains that can come from using AI, but they're rightfully concerned about jobs. But the South Australian government's not planning on using AI in the public sector to reduce numbers at all.
Why not? I mean, you've got a $50 billion debt.
Well, it's about increasing productivity. If you can actually get a lot more work out of the existing staff that we have, then we'll find that we're able to produce a lot better services for people in South Australia.
But other big organisations, I mean, we're talking about the banks this morning, although from what I understand, Westpac are going after front of house people like tellers and so forth. But you've got a lot of huge organisations that are going, you know what, we've got a lot of people with processing forms here, and all of that processing could be, and I'm not trying to be, sort of Jack Welch, General Electric style sack everybody, but realistically, the way of the world is that you can actually do it with fewer people, isn't it?
Well, that's not really the issue, though. I mean, it's not about doing something with fewer people. It's about, say, providing a much, much better service for the same amount of money. That's part of the things that AI technology will enable us to do. But that's not really our focus. Our real focus is in actually making the lives easier for our frontline staff in particular. So we've worked on a program to do AI scribe for people who are working in the medical sector so that doctors and nurses can spend more time with patients and less time doing paperwork.
Yeah,
we're working on a few things with SAPOL as well. Do exactly the same thing. So the police officers, instead of sitting there writing reports, can actually be out there helping to prevent crime.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Fascinating field. Michael Brown there, the Assistant Minister for AI, a job I didn't even know about until I came into work this morning.
Rob on the Police Home Care text line says, when AI becomes self-aware, is it the Assistant Minister's role to negotiate with our new robotic masters so we're not wiped out? We missed like the lead question there with Michael, I think.
I'll buy that for $1. It's the end of RoboCop.
Yeah, that's right.
How good is RoboCop?
Scott
Part
says...
of this reminds me, when I started at the Tizer, there were these lovely people who worked there who were called the comps, the compositors. And what happened was, as papers went from being heavy metal production to computer-based, there were all these people who suddenly their jobs were completely redundant. And you know what used to happen? When you're a cadet journalist, so you know the weather page up the back of the paper. So what used to happen was you would get a telex from the Bureau of Meteorology that would say tomorrow it's going to be maximum 20, minimum of 16. So your job as a cadet was to get scissors and a glue stick and cut out all of the weather details and then glue them onto a piece of paper that was a request to the comps. And you go and take it to the comps and you'd go, here's the weather detail for tomorrow. Can you please enter that into the computer thing for me? So then they'd go, yep. And then that would be sent off in this newfangled computer. Now, we weren't allowed to type weather or tide times or the shipping details or the aeroplane flight departure and arrival times. It used to be up the back on the so-called information page. If we ourselves had typed any of that information in, everyone in the building would have walked off the job.
Yeah, because they didn't want a reduction in the headcount because of the new technology.
It reminds me of that.
Yeah.
The conversation we just had, it always feels like you've actually got, and whether we like it or not, the reality is you could replicate so much work that's being done now through AI, and it almost sounds like the Assistant Minister for AI in a Labor government's role is to make sure it doesn't happen.
Well, I think the de-spun version of all that is it's to manage a transition to that reality, and managing it involves smoothing it out and making it as least disruptive in the early stage as possible, but acknowledging the inevitability of where it's going. I think that's a huge part of the job.
But part of it will be that comp scenario, and as I said, they're just all totally excellent people, human beings with families, but that industrial arrangement that existed at the paper in 1991 was a make-work scheme for the victims of technology.
Yeah. 7 o'clock, 5AA News is coming up on the other side of it. Do we have any listeners that have relied upon or sought advice or help from the MS Society? Because they've run into hard times. They're in voluntary administration. We're going to talk about it next.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price. 5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
The latest local, national and international news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Cloudy and 18 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Manage complex neurological conditions at Neurophysio in Eastwood with treatment and group classes. neurophysio.com.au.
The Whyalla Steelworks is hiring as it continues to ramp up production. More than 80 new production operators have been brought in since the state government placed the business in administration in February. Another 60 workers are needed in the fitting, machinist, mechanical, instrumentation, electrical and fabricating trades to start immediately. Meantime, the sales process continues. Golden North is expanding beyond ice cream. They're planning to enter the cheese market when they relocate from Laura to Murray Bridge. The site of their new production facility is a former dairy, and they also bought the cheese-making equipment. The expansion is set to see their workforce double by 2030. Well, the Prime Minister will hold talks with the US President at the White House next month after being snubbed from a meeting on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. A White House official has confirmed the pair will meet face-to-face on October 20. That means a return trip to the United States for Anthony Albanese. He says a meeting at the UN wasn't on the President's agenda because he's dealing with other issues.
Today, the meetings that President Trump are having, he's in New York for one day, are understandably focused on peace in the Middle East.
The Prince and Princess of Wales have travelled to Southport in the UK to meet with parents of 3 girls murdered at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class. More from Hannah Sinclair.
Prince William and Princess Kate had emotional conversations in private with the parents of the 3 murdered schoolgirls, Elsie, Alice and Bibi. They also attended the girls' schools in Southport to see a new commemorative playground built to honour the victims. This is the second time Wills and Kate have visited the town to offer their support, and it comes more than a year after 19-year-old Axel Rudakabana carried out a frenzied attack at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class, killing the 3 girls and injuring 8 others. Prince William giving a touching speech commending the parents for their grace and fortitude after facing such horror. Dozens of school kids were there waving UK flags and cheering for Wills and Kate, who went home wearing Taylor Swift-inspired friendship bracelets gifted by Bibi's mum with her daughter's name on them.
Jimmy Kimmel's return to late-night TV won't be broadcast nationwide in the US as dozens of ABC local stations refuse to air his show. Kimmel was suspended after comments he made on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The first show is due to be broadcast later today, our time. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Recently retired Port Adelaide coach Ken Hinkley is open to mentoring roles at AFL clubs, including Tasmania and Essendon. Hinkley telling Nine's Footy Classified, reuniting with Michael Voss and long-time power football boss Chris Davies at Carlton won't work.
Look, I've got a great relationship with Michael and, and I think Michael, to be fair, me to be back around Michael would be not the right thing for me to do, I don't think. He's got Chris now, which is going to be great for him.
Meantime, Brisbane's squad will head to Melbourne today ahead of Saturday's grand final. Lachie Neale a big chance to play after getting through yesterday's session. Let's get to cricket, and England has named its squad ahead of the upcoming Ashes series. Ben Stokes will again skipper the side, while they've named spinner Shoaib Bashir, along with Quicks, Mark Wood and Jofra Archer. Locally, South Australia will be looking to bounce back after a first-up loss against New South Wales in the one-day competition. SA will host WA at Karen Rolton Oval in a match starting later this morning. Stand-in skipper Jason Sanger telling the 5AA Sports Show there's no need to panic.
We know we're a good team in this format and we've had some great success. So let's not go back to let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's just make sure we do what we do well, back each other in, back our skills in.
Meantime, much beloved cricket umpire Harold Dickie Bird has died at the age of 92. To soccer, Liverpool and Chelsea have both moved through to the fourth round of the League Cup after recording wins this morning. The Reds with a 2-1 win against Southampton, while Chelsea also won 2-1 against Lincoln. And the Detroit Lions have produced an impressive 38-30 point win against the Baltimore Ravens to secure their second win of the NFL season. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there, roads looking okay today, which is great, isn't it? Accident breakdown free, so no hassles getting to work, which is just super. A couple of things to keep in mind. You'll find some works at Flinders Park, the intersection works, Holbrooks Road near Grange Road, they always get a bit slow. Queenstown has works, Port Road near Weber Street, and South Road Glandore slow for the tram overpass works. I was driving past there this morning on the way to work and they're pouring concrete, so a very busy day around there today. Cameras, Dyson Road, Christie's Beach, and Griffiths Drive at Moana. The Chemist Warehouse Footy Finals half-price vitamins and cosmetics sale is on now. Stock up and save today. Shop in-store or online now at Chemist Warehouse. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, cloudy today with a top of 18, partly cloudy tomorrow 20, Friday up to 22, then Saturday a possible shower 19. Right now it's 13 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
You've worked hard, raised families, built a life. Now it's your time. At Living Choice Flagstaff Hill Retirement Village, wellness and comfort aren't extras. They're every day. Retirement is your time to focus on living well by taking advantage of the magnesium pool, staying active in the gym, or unwinding in the cinema with friends. Here, luxury living meets lasting well-being with beautiful move-in ready apartments waiting for you. Discover the retirement you deserve. Book your tour today at livingchoice.com.au.
Hi, Brett Ebert here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. OK, the end of financial year might be done and dusted, but at Mawson Lakes Mazda, the deals aren't. All makes, models and colours are being cleared, no exceptions. And there's a huge range of locate demos all ready for immediate delivery. Plus, you'll get free on roads, free stamp duty, free 12 months rego and $500 worth of accessories. Mawson Lakes Mazda, Salisbury Highway, T's and C's apply.
Imagine a backyard filled with lush green turf. At one end, a set of cricket stumps. Right now, it's just a backyard. But to your kids and their friends, it's an oval, a stadium, and they can be heroes. Kids love a great patch of grass, and you can appreciate yours every day when you lay lawn in your garden from the Turf Farm. The Turf Farm plant it, nurture it, harvest it, deliver it, and importantly, they guarantee it. Trust the Turf Farm. Go to theturffarm.com.au.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7:08, and good morning to you. Joining us for the very first time on an overcast Wednesday morning in Adelaide. We've got clue number 8 in our grand final ticket competition coming up very shortly. Also this hour, Sean Fewster will be on, and we'll go around the courts with Sean and David Kosh from the Port Adelaide Football Club. I wonder what Koshy made of the Brownlow on Monday night. He's probably a traditionalist, old Koshy. We'll get his thoughts on that and plenty of the other things going on around the world at the moment. Also this morning, a little bit later, we're going to talk about a host of Westpac sackings that they have made that aren't in number as big as what ANZ did, but maybe in terms of impact for people who turn up at banks, they'll be bigger. They're going to slash 200 teller rolls. 200 teller rolls. I wasn't sure there'd be 200 of those rolls left, but there are 200 that Westpac are going to be getting rid of.
How many are going to be left after the 200 go?
That's a great question. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the morning. We did make the rather sad prediction after the ANZ decision that banks will tend to see this as the starting gun for a round of redundancies, and will likely some more. And unfortunately, we were proven correct on that, on that measure.
During the 7 o'clock news break, I was just checking something on my own banking app, and I noticed that there's some chatbot thing on it that I can talk to if I want to. I don't want to talk to the chatbot. Have you ever talked to a chatbot on your app, on a banking app?
No.
Do you want to?
Not particularly.
Do you want to talk to a chatbot about your mortgage? Do you want to talk to your chatbot about whether your pending car registration has gone through or not? Which is what I was checking.
Did it help you out?
Having been caught twice. Oh, well, no, I didn't ask the chatbot. I don't want to talk to the chatbot. I want to go to a branch and say, hello, Sharon, I'm Dave. Can you help me?
Well,
you know, in the same way I don't want to scam my bloody potatoes when I'm at a supermarket.
Sharon's not there, man. Now,
Dave's not here, man.
This is a sad story. The MS Society of South Australia and the Northern Territory has gone into voluntary administration. Now, they help 3,000 people with MS in South Australia and the Northern Territory. That's a huge number of people who are going to be without the assistance they provide. One of those is our next guest, Kerry Best. Kerry, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
We're good, Kerry. Just for those that haven't had to rely on the help of the MS Society, what would their absence from that space mean for someone like you?
It'll mean an awful big hole in what do I do when something goes wrong. You know, they're there anytime there's an issue. I can just turn to them. They're on the end of the phone. I mean, GPs are very good, but they have a limited knowledge of how, you know, MS in particular works. Try getting in to see a neurologist in an emergency. It's going to be very, very difficult for a lot of people because it's not just being on the end of the phone. They do so many other things for people. There's a nurse. There are several nurses there all the time, so they help with, you know, queries. In fact, the nurse rang me the other day, just out the blue. They ring 6 months to see how I'm going. There are lots of people who go there for physio. They have exercise classes and strategies to help with all the common symptoms of MS. They've got occupational therapists that will come and, you know, check your house and assess your ability to be able to do everyday things. They do run some education sessions through the year, and they have a family fun day once a year so that family and friends can come along and see how the whole thing works and just have a fun day. They help coordinate peer support groups. So there's several groups dotted throughout Adelaide, and I think perhaps a couple of country ones that are run by people with MS or people with MS, but they assist with that. And they organise a closed Facebook group so we can all get on and ask questions and see what the brains trust of people with MS can help us with. In fact, there was one in particular that stuck out to me the other day that said the MS nurses were my saviour at time of diagnosis, and that was exactly what it was like for me. They help with navigating the NDIS, which is really tricky now. And they've recently started to do some outreach to regional areas in both South Australia and Northern Territory to help train nurses and local doctors on what to look for with MS. So, they're just amazing. But there's another branch of the MS Society called Multiple Solutions, and they help not just MS clients but other people with disabilities to find a job and to assess the environment they'll be working in to see whether there are any modifications needed, and to sort of educate the new employer on what might be needed. So, look at all that and take it away, and what do we have but a bit of fear about what happens from now on.
Yeah, Kerry, a friend of mine who is living with MS sent me the email late Monday that the MS Society sent out.
Yes.
And I think the really disturbing thing about it is that all of the services that you just described so well, there's no word whatsoever from the MS Society about whether any of those services are going to continue.
No, well, they don't know themselves, until it goes to the assessors. And there was some talk I heard on the news last night, Channel 7, listening to Will Goodings and Rosanna.
You've had a long association with Channel 7, Kerry, so that makes sense.
I have, yes, but I'm enjoying retirement. And they were saying about perhaps it will be outsourced, if you like, to some similar organisation. So I'm not quite sure how that will work in terms of the expertise being there, or just how many services will be maintained and what that means. So, we really feel like the rug's been pulled out from underneath us at the moment. Hopefully they can work something out, because, it's just terrible. And it's not for us, it's for all the amazing staff. They're all so supportive and so friendly and there for all of us. And, I worry for them as well, what their future will be, because they've worked so hard for all of us MS people.
Yeah. Well, Kerry, thanks so much for sharing all of that information. It will be of great value to a lot of our listeners who are living with MS or have loved ones who are as well. Crikey, there's a lot of stuff in upheaval in the disability space in Australia now, and a lot of it comes down to the interplay with the NDIS.
Yeah.
The other problem apparently is that, and this is reading from the statement that the MS Society put out when they advised their members about what was going on, about how they were basically winding up. They've been struggling to sell any of their lottery tickets, and that charity fundraising space has become so competitive. And we know through the stuff we do with Hutt Street and Catherine House, like they just go, thank God someone's doing it, because it's so hard to make money these days. But that's part of it too.
Yeah. If you've got some thoughts or you'll be affected, folks, we'd love to take your call. 8223 You can text us on 0448 08 1395. I guess we should reiterate too, voluntary administration doesn't mean extinction. It may mean something else props up, or someone comes in, or it's saved in some way. It doesn't sound great, but
well, I don't know. We're going to try to get the Federal Minister for Disability, Mark Butler, on the show at some point, because with another organisation, Bedford, there's a live issue there about what voluntary administration could mean with them if it gets to that. So there's a lot going on in that space.
16 after 7. On the other side of the break, we knew it was coming, but we got the full detail of the Trump administration announcement yesterday with what the Americans call Tylenol, we call here paracetamol, and what they allege is its quite clear role in causing autism if taken by pregnant mothers. We're going to get at that issue next.
Morning there at Pasadena. Small two-car bingle Goulburn Road to the cemetery causing a few delays in, but nothing too bad, which is good. Works at Seacliff a bit slow. Ocean Boulevard near Clubhouse Road, just near the golf course there, and the intersection works at Flinders Park is sluggish too. Holbrooks Road near Grange Road. Early morning cameras mostly down south. You'll find them Griffiths Drive, Moana, and High Streets at Wollonga. That one blue nail you saw, that's someone fighting for change. You can too. Sign up at polishman.com to take a stand and prevent violence against women and children. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Graham Goodings.
Questions have emerged over the state government's claim that the 2023 Murray River floods were a key factor behind the devastating algal bloom. The government has pointed to the flood, alongside a marine heat wave, as one of 3 extraordinary environmental events that triggered the bloom.
Graham Goodings.
Luke Mosley has told a Senate inquiry that evidence linking the flood to the bloom is weak.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
For those whose pool is the main feature of their yard, Walco offer a special mesh cover to keep debris and leaves out while making your pool area look stunning all through winter. Join the great cover-up and ask Walco about their stylish new mesh pool covers. Walco.com.au.
Right now at Formula Honda, drive away in the CR-V Hybrid 24 build from $56,900 or the Honda ZR-V Hybrid 24 build from $51,900. That's a price reduction of $3,000. Plus, get 8 years unlimited kilometre warranty and roadside assist across the entire SUV range. But you'd better hurry. These offers are only available until September 30. T's and C's apply. Test drive at Formula Honda today. Glen Osmond Road, Glen Osmond, or North East Road, Modbury.
Now, home maintenance can be tricky. You need to know a plumber, electrician, a handyman and a renovator, or why not choose just one? Precise Plumbing and Electrical, 1300 700 200.
From plumbing and electrical work to heater installations to switchboard upgrades in time for the extra winter or summer load now, I guess. They've been doing it all for over 25 years with thousands of happy customers.
And don't forget smoke alarms. Now's the time to get them checked. Precise Plumbing and Electrical will give you a fixed price up front, so there's zero chance of any surpluses. Plus, they offer a lifetime workmanship warranty.
If you need anything electrical done around your home, call Precise Plumbing and Electrical on 1300 700 200 with 700 plus Google reviews and an average of 4.9 stars. You are in safe hands. That number again, 1300 700 200.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Let's talk about Harvey Norman's September sellout. It's on right now. Grab yourself an HP 15S Intel Core i5 laptop. Super hot sellout price, now just $698. Genuine value and great for general use, including email, video calls, any office work, and for students. Or save $500 on the Lenovo Ryzen AI5 laptop with 24 gig of RAM and a 512 gig SSD, slashed to just $998. Gamers, this one's for you. The Acer Nitro V with Intel Core i9 and RTX 4050 graphics is an amazing deal at only $1398. There are more sellout savings in-store and online.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
21 minutes after 7, Martin's called in with an update on an issue we covered about an hour ago, a burst water main. Martin, just describe for our listeners where you are and what the status of that main is.
Well, I'm through it now, but for a long time I couldn't actually tell what was going on. Traffic is queued. Well, the issue is on North East Road at Walkerville, sort of opposite the McDonald's, inbound, and the issue is getting traffic back past Hampstead Road at the moment. It's 3 lanes going down to 1.
Well, it sounds like a total shambles, Martin. 3 lanes down to 1.
Yeah, it goes to 2, where there's some guys doing some work, and then it goes from there 2 down to 1, just probably another 50 metres further on. So as you can imagine, it gets pretty hectic. And this time of morning, it's normally pretty free run into the city, and I reckon it's probably added 10 to 15 minutes to my trip so far.
Yeah. Well, mate, thank you so much for sharing that, because it'll be of great value to a lot of our other listeners. Good on you, Martin.
We spoke with an autism expert here in Australia yesterday ahead of an announcement we knew was coming from the US government, from the Trump administration, with regard to what they say are proven links between pregnant mothers taking what we call paracetamol in Australia. They would call, a brand name is Tylenol in the United States.
I think it's important to stress too, Will, as you were just saying when we were chatting during the ad break, the press conference by the President and his health secretary, Robert Kennedy, the thing that was most notable about that, the conspicuous absence of any real scientists at it.
Yes. I want to read you something. I'll find it in a moment, but I think it's quite telling when you dig down to the details of the administration's own announcement, because here it is. So they released, this is the statement, and this is interesting. The US Food and Drug Administration today initiated the process for label change of Tylenol and similar products to reflect evidence suggesting that the use of this by pregnant women may be associated with increased risk of neurological conditions such as autism and ADHD in children. That was the headline. This is their own press release that they've put out. This is the bottom line. It is important to note that while an association between acetaminophen, this is the one Trump couldn't say either, and neurological conditions has been described in many studies, a causal relationship has not been established, and there are contrary studies in the scientific literature. It is also noted that the drug is the only over-the-counter drug approved for the use to treat fevers during pregnancy, and high fevers in pregnant women can pose a risk to their children. Additionally, aspirin and ibuprofen have well-documented adverse impacts on the fetus. So that's not my spin. That's not Australian doctors. That's not the co-opted medical fraternity. That's the Trump administration's own statement.
Yeah. And despite that, the press conference went ahead and we heard the leader of the free world saying things like they're injecting babies with all sorts of stuff these days. Well, yes, they are. They're called vaccinations, and that's why babies don't die the way they used to.
Been roundly rejected here in Australia by medical experts. It harks back to, I think, and you'll hear this a lot in this conversation, the contrast between something having a causal relationship or not, a causal relationship. For example, there was a time when, based on an evaluation of existing research, and this went viral, the idea was that mouthwash causes cancer. Mouthwash causes, because what they found was there is a overrepresentation of mouth cancers among people who regularly use mouthwash. Obviously, there's a relationship between those two things. Turns out it's not causal. Turns out if you've got mouth cancer, you tend to have bad breath. So people that have it tend to use lots of mouthwash. It's not causal. It's a coincidence.
Yeah.
And those two, that's why scientists will say, well, yes, there's a higher prevalence of something happening when someone does something else, but does it actually cause that other thing? And that's where there is a difference between what Australian scientists are saying and what the Trump administration is saying. The sum of it all, though, is for mothers. I reckon there'll be a lot of mothers out there that suddenly feel like they are being blamed.
Well, yeah, totally. That's the human part of this story, is it's laying a guilt trip on every mum who would be thinking, oh, did I do something wrong? And they didn't, and they shouldn't be made to feel like that.
Exactly right. Ellen Mitchell is an Adelaide mum. She has 3 children that have autism and ADHD. Ellen, good morning to you. How did you feel when this was getting a global attention yesterday?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Yeah, honestly, I kind of laughed it off initially because I just think it's ridiculous. And if you watch it at all, he can barely get a sentence out. So it's hard to believe. But then I could think about the mums like me that might be in the thick of the guilt, might have just had diagnosis, might be having a really hard time with school or whatever else, and they're hearing that, and that's just adding to a already stressful situation that they live with every day. And I just think it's completely unfair of someone who has so much influence to put that blame on mothers.
Well, it feels though, Ellen, that hopefully we live in a country that is guided by actual science still. Not the same way that with Kennedy as health minister, they've gone down this lunatic path. But does it worry you though when, it's the front page article of the local paper here today, it's the front page of the Tizer. It inevitably, because of the authority of Trump's office, it does have huge effects, not just in Australia, but worldwide, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And for whatever reason, there's already still so much stigma and negativity towards families that are raising autistic children. It's quick for people to think that we're bad parents, it's bad parenting, we've done different things, and put all this blame on us. And the reality is we're parents that go above and beyond. We dedicate our whole lives to our children, and not to say that other families don't do that, but, we have to, maybe not work, or we have to have reduced hours. We have to attend so many appointments and put in place so many therapies and adjustments at home. And to say that, to add any more blame to us is just unfair. And I think as well, the people who really take on that negativity, they go real full force, and they can be quite mean about it. And I think I saw on the Facebook post about the advertiser, there was like 900 comments, and it was mostly really harsh stuff, really pro-Trump administration. And if that's where people are getting their information, that's just making it so much harder for families like mine.
You know what my tip would be, Alan? Don't read those comments, because you're emotionally in the thick of it. And the thing is, the people who write all those things, and like I got the hide of a rhino. Like I see stuff written all the time about some column that I've written, and someone's, you left-wing suck-hole idiot, or you right-wing Murdoch scumbag. Like people write all these things, and all of those people, they don't regard other humans as humans. They regard them as political opponents, and everything for them comes back to politics. So they got no humanity, and they got no interest in you as a mum. So just do yourself a favour and, read a gardening app or a cooking app.
I will. Yeah, I appreciate that, and I kind of laughed a lot of it off, but I guess for me it depends on where you're at in your journey, and we have really tricky days, really hard days, and at the moment things feel all right, but we have times where it feels really hopeless, and so I think for me it's when things like this come out, I think of the mums who are really, really struggling right now, and how much worse things like this make it for them. And so I think that's where my frustration really comes from. This is just, you don't know what people have going on in their lives, and just because they carry it well doesn't mean it's not heavy. And I just really feel for families who maybe, if they're already dealing with negativity, even from their family members who maybe aren't that supportive. I just think it's incredibly tough when you have world leaders who just spout information without any real evidence to back it up. And when you have 1 in 4 families with an autistic individual, of course there's going to be a coincidence that people have taken paracetamol or something during pregnancy. It's just common sense, right?
Yeah, well, and, because there's plenty of evidence showing that if mums get really serious fevers, that can lead to all sorts of birth defects. So that's why, mums are told to do it. So, yeah, hey, that was a really good chat, Ellen. Thank you for coming on and talking about it. Ellen Mitchell there.
We're going to take a break. 5AA News is coming up. We go round the courts with Sean Fuster next.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Cloudy and 18 today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Treat dizziness, vertigo and motion sensitivity with vestibular physiotherapy. Visit neurophysio.com.au, part of Physio Extra Group.
Break-ins at Brighton and Darlington this morning are believed to be linked. A chemist on Brighton Road was targeted just after 3 a.m. Senior Constable Daniel Isaacson says there was a second break-in within the hour.
About 40 minutes later, just before 4 a.m, police responded to another alarm at Darlington where they discovered that the suspects had forced entry into a medical centre. Patrols with the assistance of the Dog Operations Unit searched both areas but were unable to locate any suspects.
As the sale process continues for the Whyalla Steelworks, more workers are needed. The site has ramped up production since the state government placed the business in administration 7 months ago. Another 60 traders are needed immediately, in addition to the 80 hired since February. Workers are required in a range of trades, from fitting to mechanical to electrical. A new era for Golden North. Not only is the ice cream company moving from Laura to the hills, it's branching out. They plan to enter the cheese market as well when they move to a former dairy at Murray Bridge. That will see dozens of new jobs come online. The Prime Minister has confirmed he's locked in a formal meeting with the US President for next month. October 20 is the date. Anthony Albanese says he wasn't expecting talks to be held on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly because of the focus on the Middle East. Donald Trump has addressed the United Nations, making a scathing assessment of green energy and immigration policies of many countries, including Australia.
I'm telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail. And if you don't stop people that you've never seen before, that you have nothing in common with, your country is going to fail.
NASA has confirmed its first crewed flight around the moon as part of its Artemis program could happen as soon as February. The BBC's Rebecca Morell has more.
The Artemis mission will see 4 astronauts launch on NASA's mega moon rocket called the Space Launch System and spend 10 days inside the Orion spacecraft. The crew will fly towards the moon and then make a wide orbit around it, travelling further past the moon than anyone has been before returning back to Earth. The crew has spent the last 2 years training for the mission and will take part in experiments while on board to see how their bodies are affected by deep space. This mission, if successful, will pave the way for a future lunar landing.
Red Cross Lifeblood is teaming up with Metallica to get us to roll up our sleeves. The American rockers have been promoting blood donation during their world tour, and it continues here. The band is encouraging people to donate blood and plasma with a limited edition Metallica t-shirt as an incentive. It's available to donors from October 29 to November 4. Metallica will perform at Adelaide Oval on November 5. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Geelong ruckman Reece Stanley is expected to be okay to play in Saturday's grand final and could replace defender Tom Stewart, who's set to miss the match through concussion. Stanley has been out himself with a hamstring injury. Assistant Cats coach James Raleigh telling the 5AA Sports Show they know what they need to do to combat the Lions.
The number one thing that we did really well against them last time was our pressure. And we need to bring that again. It wasn't too bad against Hawthorn after the first quarter as well. So it's an important part of our game. So we definitely need to bring that.
The Lions will fly to Melbourne today ahead of the grand final on Saturday. Let's get to soccer, and Liverpool marksman Alexander Isak has delighted home fans as he scored in his side's 2-1 League Cup win this morning. That was against Southampton.
Chiesa's nicked out Isak, and Liverpool are in front, and Alexander Isak, the most expensive footballer in the history of British football, has his first goal for Liverpool.
Yeah, big moment for him. In other games, Chelsea came from a goal down to beat Lincoln 2-1. Cardiff also 2-1 winners against Burnley. Brighton belted Barnsley 6-0. Wolverhampton finally had something to celebrate with a 2-0 win against Everton, while Wrexham also won 2-0 against Reading. And Australia has won 2 silver and 3 bronze medals on night 3 of the World Para-Swimming Championships in Singapore. Tim Hodge finished second in the 100-metre butterfly S9, just 24 hours after winning the 200-metre individual medley. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there at Pasadena, a small 2-car bingle on Goodwood Road to the cemetery. Some delays inbound, but nothing too bad, so that's okay. Works are getting a little bit sluggish at the moment at Flinders Park, Holbrooks Road near Grange Road for the intersection upgrade works, and South Road Landor sluggish for ongoing works of the tram overpass. Cameras Dyson Road, Christie's Beach, and the Esplanade and Dinga Beach. Fiji Airways flash sale on now. One-way flights to Fiji from Adelaide from $309. Book now at the award-winning FijiAirways.com or your travel agent. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, cloudy for your Wednesday, a top of 18, partly cloudy tomorrow 20, Friday partly cloudy 22, Saturday a possible shower 19. Right now it is 14 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Oh, Jesus, hot in here. Can someone pass the Morford air? Oh, that's better.
When the temperature is too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air, Adelaide's own homegrown family air conditioning company. Morford Air has kept South Australians perfectly comfortable for over 50 years. So when it's too hot or cold to bear, you can always reach for the Morford Air. Look for the bright blue building at 602 Marion Road or visit morfordair.com.au. Morford.
Get summer ready with TJM. Whether you're hitting the beach or heading off-road, TJM has the latest in four-wheel drive and camping gear to keep your adventure ready. Check out our brand new 270-degree freestanding awning, rooftop tents, camp chairs, fridges and everything else you'll need for the ultimate outdoor setup. Drive with confidence all summer long with TJM's range of bull bars, vehicle protection and premium suspension options, including GVM upgrades. TJM Nailsworth, Ranella and now Mount Gambier.
With music at the touch of a button nowadays, there's something extra special about going to Clarity Records and taking it home on vinyl.
Clarity Records, I love this place. I haven't been in for too long. I'm going to head in on the weekend. It is such a great record store. And look, records themselves, how good are they, vinyl? It's a way of saying this album's so important to you. You want to hold it in the flesh, take time to soak it in.
And there's nothing like the sound of a record too. And it's a piece of music history from Beatles to Black Sabbath, from Miles Davis to Metallica. Clarity Records know their music.
Or even a bit of the Budos band, Will, which you got into.
Exactly
to the
right.
people at Clarity Records, Staten Island Afro Funk. Whether you're buying the first of many or you're hunting something down, drop in, browse and reminisce.
And don't forget to tune into our Grand Vinyl Eve this Friday, September 26th between 2 and 3 p.m. when Leith Forest will be spinning some of the greatest AFL tracks of all time. Thanks to Clarity Records, your fully independent record store serving the local music community for over 15 years. 60 Pulteney Street, Adelaide, or check out clarityrecords.net.
Is IBS ruling your life? Are uncomfortable IBS symptoms like abdominal discomfort, bloating, diarrhea or constipation constantly ruining your plans? Caruso's new IBS Fighter Probiotic to the rescue. Caruso's IBS Fighter Probiotic contains a powerful blend of beneficial bacteria to relieve symptoms of medically diagnosed IBS such as bloating and discomfort. So if you're tired of letting IBS ruin your plans, try Caruso's IBS Fighter Probiotic today from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
If the kitchen's your studio, Simpson's Pantry wraps and flatbreads are your canvas. Refresh, remix and wrap it up with Simpson's Pantry. You'll be absolutely wrapped.
Simpson's Pantry. Absolutely wrapped.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
"20 minutes to 8.
It's time to go around the courts with Sean Fuster on 5AA Breakfast.
We've always told you he's the best in the business, the award-winning Sean Fuster, Chief Court Reporter at the Advertising. Congratulations to you, Sean, and good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, and very grateful to those who nominated and chose our work for the News Corp Scoop of the Year Award.
Yeah, and big accolades all round for the paper, to the editor Gemma Jones and her team. Best news brand out of the news group.
The culture, the newsroom, the paper that Gemma has created, 100% worthy of that award. It's brilliant to be part of that team right now.
Yeah. Let's talk about hip-hop. When I read this story online 2 days ago on the Tigers website, I was going, geez, I hope Sean talks about this one on Wednesday.
You're talking about Scucks.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I believe so. It could be SkeWX, but I've heard it pronounced in online interviews as Scucks. Because this is what I do. I do my research. I actually go on YouTube and watch and find out what is the case. But apparently we're talking about Scucks. And, Will, I believe we have a little bit of Scucks to sample for the audience.
Louis V on my chest with a big tuck. Around and we're sending you like Tuka.
As Stephen Colbert would say, cool.
So he's an Adelaide boy, Scucks?
Adelaide born, now Sydney based. That track there, which is called Throwaway Bars, went to number 2 on the ARIA hip hop charts a couple of years ago and was the number 1 track on TikTok for a very long period of time. So this is, at that point he was 17. He's now 19, so he's had some considerable success. And as much as we laugh, that is one of the hottest tracks in the country at the time. Scucks is also someone who has finally had his brush with the law. You know, every rapper has got to have their iconic brush with the law. Except Scucks's was a little, you know, less Tupac and Biggie and a bit more McDonald's car park.
Was a sort of wasn't quite a fender bender, was it? It was. He had someone on a scooter.
Have you ever been to the Gillis Plains McDonald's?
I reckon I have actually.
So it's on the corner. For those who don't know, it's on the corner of the Gillis Shopping Centre car park, sort of opposite the Holden Hill Police Station, you know, on Cholesterol Corner there, as they used to call it. And where you go into the drive-through actually looks like the exit to the entire car park.
Yeah, right.
I've done it myself. You drive in there and go, oh, wrong turn, so you reverse back. What Scucks did was he reversed back at high speed while he was on his L's with someone in the car with him who wasn't actually allowed to drive. So he's breaking the law there. He's reversed at high speed back, and it sounds funny when you say, oh, he hit a motor scooter, but the 2 people in the motor scooter both got really seriously injured. The woman got trapped, and they had to be taken to hospital, and they were hospitalised for their injuries. So Scucks was charged with driving offences, and he went to court just recently, pleaded guilty to everything, and said, basically, I'm after the mercy of the court because, Your Honour, I'm a first-time offender. So while he's out there slinging tracks about, you know, this and that and being in jail and being a hard man, he's actually never been in prison before until this. He spent a whole 90 minutes in custody, which according to his lawyer is a very salient thing and very sobering experience for a man of his age. And
would have thought it's a rite of passage for any self-respecting West Coast gangster mofo like him.
Well, this is the thing. You'd think that would be his move for street cred, but instead it's actually, no, please don't do anything to him. He's just a little boy who's done a slight fender bender and a bingle. Can we have no conviction recorded and can he be released on a bond? The Magistrates Court agreed. They said, look, this is your first time offending, therefore we're going to treat you cautiously and carefully. At the same time, we're going to give you the maximum licence disqualification of 18 months because you actually need to understand and grapple with the consequences of your actions. So no conviction, so we're not going to ruin your burgeoning rap career if you have to move to the US or something like that. That's not going to get in the way. But you'll spend the next 18 months off the roads to really understand the gravity of what you did.
Of the different components of offending or potential offending, what does the court actually see as the gravest? Was it leaving? Without
leaving is definitely the gravest part.
So leaving is worse than driving illegally in that instance.
To make a comparison to a much more serious case, Dhiren Ranhawa and Charlie Stevens, the more heavier penalty that Dhiren Ranhawa faced for that was leaving. The number one thing, and I mean this quite seriously, the number one thing, if you're ever involved in a traffic accident where someone is hurt, do not leave the scene. Stay there. No matter how upset you are, no matter how afraid you are, stay there. Lawyers used to say, even in cases before the law changed of death by dangerous driving, if you kill someone in a vehicular incident and you stay at the scene, you won't go to jail. That's what they used to say. That was the common belief. And until the law changed, that was the case. So cannot stress on listeners enough, stay there. Stay and render assistance. Try to help because it means that you're doing your duty as a road user. The minute you shirk that duty as a road user, you're looking at going inside.
Sorry.
So did he explain why he left the scene? Did he say he panicked?
He panicked because there were people around him using their mobile phones to take photographs of the incident, as we all do now, and being a burgeoning celebrity, he was worried, so he took off.
It sounds as though the court, and you touched this a moment ago, Sean, on that particular component of the offending was very saying that there's a part of growing up and learning that your actions have consequence. There was almost like you're an adult, but you're a young person sort of defence that was baked into the whole thing.
There is, and look, I'll be honest, with no disrespect intended to the Magistrates Court, it was a little hard to listen to for the simple reason that we don't see it with so many other young driving offenders. If you don't have a burgeoning rap career, you may not have the same gravity in a court to make that argument. I've seen others in similar situations that I've not reported on that have just gone through the courts while I've been waiting for someone else. Be a case of, no, I don't care that you're a first-time offender. This was ridiculous behaviour. You have injured someone. You are actually going to get a suspended sentence. You are going to get a conviction. You need to grapple with this for the rest of your life. But when you've got something in your life that's a little special, a little unique, a little different, tends to give counsel a really good hook to use to try to build an argument around.
Yeah, I don't know. I sort of think that, coupled with the case we discussed last week about the magistrate giving the right to travel overseas to China.
To the clothing manufacturer.
Yeah. Well, what about the young guy who's just got a burgeoning career as a plumber ahead of him?
And this is my
point. Trying to get from A to B.
And this is exactly my point, because I have seen cases where someone is a young tradie or whatever, and it's a case of, no, you're going to have to find a new way to get to work, or you're going to have to, I know your employment will be damaged by this, however, that's not good enough. But when it's something out of the ordinary, something unusual, almost, I don't want to say starry-eyed, but, clothing manufacturer in China, burgeoning rap career, something that the magistracy and the legislation is not built to handle as a default. It's almost like that's somewhere where a lawyer can say, you know what, I think we've got an arguable case here.
Yeah. Great insight as always, Sean. That was terrific.
Thanks, guys.
Congrats again.
Good on you, Sean.
Thanks.
Thanks, mate.
Sean Fewster joins us each and every Wednesday morning as we go around the courts. We're going to check traffic and come back with David Koch in just a moment.
Morning there at Pasadena, a small two-car bingle on Goodwood Road to the cemetery causing delays inbound at the moment. Also got works which are sluggish at Mile End, so Donald Bradford Drive near South Road, and starting to build for works at Flinders Park, Holbrooks Road near Grange Road. Getting busy, South Road at Tonsley with the camera, Dyson Road, Christie's Beach. Looking for a serious speed upgrade? Optus NBN just got way faster internet speeds for the whole family to be online. Search Optus NBN, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Is it the best Beechwood home ever made? Possibly, but there's always more to come from Beechwood. Introducing the Caliente, now open for viewing. The Caliente is a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Taking inspiration from Palm Springs and California, it's definitely a conversation starter. The team at Beechwood can't wait for you to see it at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm. Open Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
If you've ever needed something custom printed, you'll know it can be messy with setup costs, minimum orders and long waits. Printably cuts all that out.
That's right. They'll print whatever you need. T-shirts for a reunion, hoodies for the club, uniforms for the whole workplace, or just one shirt for a mate. No setup fees, no minimums, no hidden costs.
Well, best of all, it's all done right here in South Australia with fast turnaround and delivery straight to your door.
Printably can handle small runs and big production jobs, and if you found a cheaper price somewhere else, they'll beat it, guaranteed.
So whether it's for business, sport, or just a one-off idea you've always wanted to wear, trust a local team who makes it easy. Head to printably.com.au today and bring your idea to life.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Now more than ever, you need an agent who's not just out for a quick sale. You need someone who can stand their ground to ensure you're maximising your home's potential. There's a good reason Toop and Toop is defying market trends and continuing to deliver premium outcomes for its clients. With a history spanning over 40 years and a team of unrivalled experience, Toop and Toop knows what it takes to maximise your results in any selling conditions. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
Aldi's whole free-range chicken is now only $4.49 a kilo. It's so free-range that it might not come back.
Oi! That's my car, you chicken! No, 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 no!
Aussie chicken at Aldi prices. Aldi, good different.
Hi, Brett Ebert here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda. They'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash. And your breakfast or lunch is on them. Your car gets the love too with their state-of-the-art service centre, brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, they'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
9 minutes to 8, AFL Grand Final ticket clue number 8 is not too far away. We've also got a Care Alert Smart Dialer giveaway this morning. We'll be spinning the wheel to come up with a birth year very, very shortly. After 8 o'clock, couple of big issues we're going to tackle. The Trump Albanese meeting confirmed for October 20. What should the Prime Minister be putting on the agenda? What's the perception of Australia in the United States at the moment? What are our opportunities? What are our challenges? We have a well-placed former Premier who we're going to be chatting with over in the US after 8 o'clock. The other thing we're going to be doing is talking about the banking sector, which again is seeing significant change with Westpac announcing that they're going to lay off 200 people. Now, we were sceptical of ANZ's announcement about the thousands they were sacking, but they did make the point that they weren't going to be customer-facing staff. Well, Westpac is saying quite the opposite. They are 200 teller roles that they're going to be doing away with. So what does that mean for people who go and turn up to the bank in person to do their banking? Someone sent us a picture a little bit earlier of the Westpac this morning, their local branch. It was Cole. Cole sent us a picture with a long queue. And you know what's notable about that queue? What do you think? Have you seen the picture?
Yeah.
The average age of the people in it.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a business decision that disproportionately affects older Australians.
Yeah.
It disenfranchises older Australians.
We got a text too talking about the growing trend among banks to not give people access to lump sums of cash, even from their own accounts, without what they consider either an appropriate reason or sometimes plenty of advance notice.
I think I've heard this goes viral online. I think my understanding is the explanation for that is far more benign than what it's made out to be. I think we might even ask, maybe Koshy knows more about this. Banks ask that as one of their scam prevention policies. Because if you start saying, I've just met this lovely guy online, we've been dating for a year and he needs $10,000, if that's your reason, the bank will start raising some questions. But there's no basis that I understand on which they would do. Like if you say, I want to take out $10,000 because I want to buy the best pair of shoes I've ever seen, they're not going to say, well, that's not smart. They just say, okay, no worries. As I understand it, and maybe someone's got examples to the contrary, it's a scam prevention policy. So they just sounding out to make sure people aren't getting caught up in a romance scam or some other thing that that goes on. But we will continue to pursue the banking question after 8 o'clock. Sir Eric Neal. Koshy, good morning to you.
Good morning, gents. It pains me to say this, but Will, you're absolutely right. No, it is basically a scam watch thing for the banks at the moment, and particularly with financial scams. I had the experience a couple of weeks ago of putting money into an investment and then got these questions. And I did it online, and the questions were online, and it was, how did you hear about this investment? Is it properly authorised by Australian regulatory authorities? There are about 3 really good questions, and I thought, that's impressive. That's a really good thing to do because it makes you stop and think all the logical steps you should have been taken to make that sort of investment. So, yeah, it's primarily to stop scams because they're just in plague proportions at the moment. We're all getting these financial scam offers. It's extraordinary.
Yeah, well, and as you know through bitter experience, Koshy, some of these scams actually use the images of reputable people like your good self to lure people in.
Yeah, exactly. And, I've had so many tragic emails from one classic was lady, late 60s, spends 10 minutes every morning on her Bible app reading sort of passages from the Bible, and apparently this Bible app suggests readings and relates it to modern-day events, and one of the scam ads that has stolen my image and made up comments from me came up on her Bible app, and she thought, it's Koshy, and it's on my Bible app, it must be okay, and lost $60,000.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah.
That'd be a life savings.
Yep, exactly right. It's just tragic. So,
the poor thing.
you know, if there can be a couple of questions from the bank that just make you double think things, or at least go and check it and talk to somebody about it, I think that's a really good thing.
What did you think of the Brownlow, Koshy? Were you there?
Yeah, I was there. It's a great night. It's at the President's meeting the next day. There was a fair bit of discussion about this issue of whether umpires should get the stats at the end of the game. So they base their decisions on actual performance. And when you think about it, you know, there are 4 umpires. They're so focused on their particular section of the ground, and it's constantly changing as fast. I reckon it'd be tough to get a big perspective. Now, as you know, I have a very competitive family Supercoach competition from my 91-year-old mother down to my grandkids and sons-in-law and the whole thing. I had Matt Rowell in my Supercoach, and the first half of the season, or the first 5 or 6 games, he got off to a really slow start. So I was blown away that he got best on ground for the first 4 matches. And the Wangadeen Miller won Melbourne. You saw the reaction of even the Melbourne table, Max Gawn and Petrarca, who could not believe that Jack Viney got best on ground when Miller had 32 touches, 4 goals, and kicked the last 2 in the last 2 minutes to win the game.
We can't have you know, our leaders and players guffawing at the stupidity of the most prestigious award in the sport, can we, Koshy? It's just it's not good for the integrity of it, is it?
No, agree. And to be frank, I don't think it's good for the umpires as well.
Absolutely.
No, exactly.
Well, I do have sympathy for him on this point. As you pointed out, Koshy, like when you sit at the footy with your mates or your family, you're sitting there going, gee, who's playing well for us and who's killing us from the other team? And if you're in the commentary box, you're doing that. And if you're a coach, you're sitting there working out, well, who's having an influence and who's not? The umpires are literally there, the only people there doing something else. Like they're working, they're focused on the application of the rules of the game. So it's asking way too much of my thing to then ask them, well, you do that and do this other stuff that everyone else is doing at the game. Secondary, it's weird.
And even though they rotate, they're focused on that quarter of the ground that they're meant to be looking after, rather than necessarily upfield too much. The pleasing thing to come out though is the number of umpires who are signing up to umpire the game and staying, which is great. It's been a real focus of the AFL to start developing sort of a lot bigger umpire ranks because of the increasing number of boys and girls that are playing AFL. So that's a good thing. The pipeline coming through looks pretty healthy of umpires.
Hey, all the best for the funeral today. He's a great man, your uncle Koshy. We'll catch up again soon. David Kosh, Port Adelaide Football Club chairman, and Compare the Market economic director. I know you're probably not in the business world of promoting rival networks, but I was watching Footy Classified last night. I like it on Tuesday when Eddie's on. I like Eddie Maguire. But they had Ken Hinckley on, and for pretty much the whole panel discussion. And he said that as a coach, he often found himself getting to the end of a game and thinking, his Butters did pretty well, didn't he? And then looking at the sheet going, oh, my God, like, wow. But because there's other things you're thinking of. You don't always see the game in its totality. Like you might be worried about your back line or something, or a couple of other matchups or something. Or you might even be thinking about something else. That's why I don't know the job that you do and that Rennie, who you might have heard at the 7:30 news before, making a bit of racket in the background. The way you guys watch games in a sort of scientific way, as a fan, often I'll get to the end of a game and I've got no real idea who the top 3 players have been because you think about other stuff. But you make a good point about the umps when their job is there's 2 guys in front of you. Has that guy got that guy too high? They're not thinking about the actual totality of the match.
Yeah, it's crazy. 5AA News is coming up. Breaking at 8 in just a moment.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Cloudy and 18 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Manage complex neurological conditions at Neurophysio in Eastwood with treatment and group classes. neurophysio.com.au.
Westpac is the latest bank to make job cuts. It will axe 200 bank teller roles, replacing them with concierges to help customers use their app, website or ATMs. It follows recent job loss announcements for the ANZ and National Australia Bank. Police are investigating 2 break-ins, a chemist at Brighton and medical centre at Darlington. Senior Constable Daniel Isaacson says they were targeted between 3 and 4 a.m.
Police believe that these incidents are linked and ask anybody with information to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000 or report it online.
A man has been caught drink and drug driving at Risdon Park. He allegedly produced a blood alcohol reading of 0.167, more than 3 times the legal limit. The 52-year-old also allegedly returned a positive drug test for THC. He'll be summoned in court at a later date. A city exclusion zone impacting the railway station is what hosting COP31 could mean for Adelaide. Major security measures across the CBD are flagged as we push to stage the climate summit here late next year. Premier Peter Malinauskas has told Nine the summit would bring up to 50,000 people to town.
If Adelaide does indeed host COP, it's one of the biggest events in the world. In fact, it's probably second to the Olympics.
Another 60 tradies are needed at the Whyalla Steelworks as the sales process continues. That's in addition to the more than 80 workers hired since the state government placed the business in administration back in February. Well, the Prime Minister has locked in a meeting with the US President for next month. Anthony Albanese will finally hold talks with Donald Trump on the 20th of October after being snubbed on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, which means a return trip to the United States. Meantime, President Trump has delivered a speech to the United Nations. He used the address to tell the countries they would be going to hell if they failed to fix immigration policies and lashed out at what he described as the green energy con.
We have reasserted that America belongs to the American people, and I encourage all countries to take their own stand in defense of their citizens as well. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble.
Now turning to 5AA's sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with Operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Port Adelaide Chairman David Koch believes umpires should have access to stats at the end of games to help assist with their votes. Koch was at the Brownlow count on Monday night, which saw Gold Coast midfielder Matt Rao awarded the top honour. There were more than a few eyebrows raised, with votes going to some players in various games and not other players. And Koch has told David and Will the ability to have those stats would help.
So when you think about it, there are 4 umpires. They're so focused on their particular section of the ground, and it's constantly changing as fast. I reckon it'd be tough to get a big perspective.
Let's go to cricket, and England has named its Ashes squad, and it's got full of firepower with bowling a lineup having the likes of Mark Wood, Jofra Archer and Gus Atkinson, while Ben Stokes will again skipper the side. Locally today, South Australia will take on Western Australia at Karen Rolton Oval. That match starts later this morning, and Campbell Thompson is set to make his debut for the home side. And legendary cricket umpire Dickie Bird has died at his home in Yorkshire. He was 92. Briefly elsewhere, Liverpool and Chelsea have both moved through to the 4th round of the League Cup after recording wins this morning. The Reds with a 2-1 win against Southampton, while Chelsea also won 2-1 against Lincoln. Sydney will host the Australian Athletics Championships. That's going to be in April next year. And the Detroit Lions have produced an impressive 38 to 30 point win against the Baltimore Ravens to secure their 2nd win for the NFL season. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there at Vale Park. Got a really big burst water main causing massive delays inbound at the moment. North East Road near Ascot Avenue, maybe 10 to 15 minute delays through there this morning. Busy at Hillbank, Blacktop Road near Williams Road, and busy at Flitters Park for works too. Holbrooks Road near Grange Road. Camera right now, Aldinga Beach Road at Aldinga Beach. Support your cardiovascular system health with Blackmore's Omega Triple Super Strength Fish Oil. Available for a great price every day at Chemist Warehouse. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, cloudy today with a top of 18, partly cloudy tomorrow 20, Friday 22 and a possible shower Saturday 19. Right now it's 14 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hi, Daniel Talia here, General Manager of Home. That's HAUME. Put simply, we buy homes. If you've received a letter from us in your mailbox, don't throw it away. You may be throwing away a golden opportunity to sell your home at market value. With zero effort, advertising fees or commissions, you'll save thousands of dollars. If you've received a letter from us, it means we're serious about buying your home. For more info, visit home.com.au. That's HAUME.com.au.
Get saving now with City Discount Tyres. We're offering great deals on the world's top brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts. Suitable for four-wheel drives, SUVs and passenger cars, including Falcon, Michelin, Pirelli, Kumho, Hankook and many more. Finance options available. Search citydiscounttyres.com.au and locate your nearest dealer today. City Discount Tyres. We're driven by value.
For over 50 years, Gliderol has been manufacturing and installing garage doors for South Australian homes. Spring is almost here, so why not improve the street appeal and value of your most prized possession? Order a new Gliderol door with operator before the end of September and you'll receive 2 extra handsets. Plus, we'll remove your existing door for free. Call Gliderol for a free measure and quote on 1300 799 144 or go to gliderol.com.au. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
Get summer ready with TJM. Whether you're hitting the beach or heading off-road, TJM has the latest in four-wheel drive and camper gear to keep your adventure ready. Check out our brand new 270-degree freestanding awning, rooftop tents, camp chairs, fridges and everything else you'll need for the ultimate outdoor setup. Drive with confidence all summer long with TJM's range of bull bars, vehicle protection and premium suspension options, including GVM upgrades. TJM Nailsworth, Ranella and now Mount Gambier.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
8 after 8, breaking 8 coming up in just a moment. Very shortly, clue number 8 for our AFL Grand Final ticket competition. It could go off today, and if it doesn't go off today, it's definitely going off tomorrow to give you time to jump on a plane and get to Melbourne to enjoy the Toyota AFL Grand Final. We're also giving away a Care Alert Smart Dialer very shortly. We'll spin the wheel. It'll come up with a birth year if it's yours.
19.
It's probably going to be 19 because the wheel is weighted. Then you could win
dodgy Vegas casino in here.
You could win the Care Alert Smart Dialer
on the strip.
We're going to be chatting with Stephen Marshall, who is over in the US. He took the job, I think, it was like he took a job in peacetime and it quickly descended into war when it came to the Australia-US relations and the relationship between our business communities. We're going to talk to him about the Trump-Albanese meeting.
Regardless of what you think of renewables, we know that a lot of our listeners are firmly in the Donald Trump camp of harumphing at the cost of power, the cost of power being the number one problem in Australia right now in a cost of living sense. But the former Premier, he is in the thick of it. He was at the presentation that Anthony Albanese made. Everyone's favourite federal energy minister, Chris Bowen, was also there. The Lord Mayor, Jane Lomax-Smith, she was there because obviously Adelaide's pushing hard to host the COP. This was all happening at the Australian-American Friendship Association, which the former Premier, of course, now heads up. We'll be chatting to him in a little under half an hour.
A couple of different sorts of break-ins overnight at Brighton and Darlington, featuring medical centres and a chemist. That seems to be the things that have linked them. Peter Caldecott for 7 News is covering these separate incidents. Peter, good morning to you.
Good morning.
The police could tell us very little about it beyond the fact there was a chemist that was broken into earlier this morning. What have you been able to glean? Do we know what they were after, these guys?
Well, I do, in fact. So I'm currently at the second break-in, which is at Darlington Medical Centre, and the police crime scene are here, taking photographs and collecting evidence as we speak. And, the manager at the chemist has shown me the CCTV. of two guys fully hooded up with balaclavas, and they jumped the back fence. It looks like they broke in through a side window, and then they got inside. They had to, once inside the building, they had to smash their way through a screen door to get access into the chemist. And they were carrying like a baton and also a little backpack. And once they got inside, the managers told me they were very specifically targeting cough mixture, which possibly could be for its pseudoephedrine content.
Yeah.
I'm not absolutely sure about that, but I think that's been targeted before. They were very specific. They didn't go to the till. They didn't take any electronics. They didn't take anything else. They just filled up the backpack with cough mixture. So either they're looking for that specific drug or they've got a very bad cough.
So they'd find a way of getting the pseudoephedrine out of the cough medicine to make speed, presumably.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the idea. And I'm not sure what was targeted at the other chemist, but I'd say it's probably along the same lines because the police believe they're connected. So they did two within an hour.
Wow.
That's interesting, Peter. Thank you. Peter Caldecott for 7 News. You'll see that CCTV, those pictures on 7 News tonight. It's like a professional hit job, that is, isn't it? They went in, didn't bother about the till.
Yeah.
One specific product they're after.
Well, didn't
two
they
medical
change-
centres.
When you buy Sudafed now, don't you need to show your driver's license or something like that?
I think if you buy a certain amount, you need to register. You need to sign something like acknowledge your existence.
Why do you need more than one pack?
Well, yeah, you don't. I think there are limitations now on how much you can get.
Yeah,
that you can't say, "Hey,
But 10 years ago,
I've got the sniffles. I'm going to need, let me think, 50 packets of Sudafed."
Yeah. But years ago, that was a huge thing. Sudafed getting pinched by people with links to bikie gangs and meth production, all that sort of stuff. Not trying to disparage all the bikie gangs there.
Indeed. Should we do a couple of texts before breaking it, on the Police Home Care text line?
Yes. Just having a look here. Ricky in Aldinga Beach flying the flag for the cynics about the cop. Hi, guys. 50,000 people flying to Adelaide to lecture us all about what we must do to lower emissions, and then we, the locals, have an exclusion zone in the city. All this to give a leg up to Bowen and his mates. How much is this going to cost and what's its carbon footprint? What a total joke. Wendy in Theberton says, Dave and Will, I'm a retired banker of 32 years who worked in small SA rural branches, which are still open. Customers who required larger amounts of cash were requested to order in advance due to branches having limited cash holdings, and cash deliveries were only every fortnight. And Rob says, what's the award for the best ump? Did the 3-vote getter for the St Kilda match give away any clangers? That's a good question. Keep them coming, folks. Thanks for that. Well, it feels like every day we've come in over the last couple of weeks, there's been a new jaw-dropping story about banks that are raking in mega profits, have then turned their beady eyes to the number of staff that they've got and whether they can get rid of several hundred of them. Well, Westpac is the latest bank to go down that route, but with a degree of candour, albeit unpleasant candour, not normally associated with a lot of these statements. They've actually come out today and said, yep, these are frontline people, they're tellers. We're going to get rid of about 200 bank tellers. What does this mean for customers, and particularly, what does it mean for those of us who are, in our late 50s, 60s and 70s and higher, who grew up in an era where there was a bank branch in every suburb, and being from the analogue age, we are used to face-to-face service. Miranda Starkey is the CEO of COTA, Council on the Ageing, which does a great job advocating for older Australians. Miranda, good morning. What's your take on this? Because it just feels like at every possible turn, big organisations like banks are trying to force us down the path of apps and online.
Yeah, good morning. Look, it's not surprising. It's still disappointing, though, when you hear that those face-to-face services are potentially, going to be reduced even more. I know that there are a lot of older people who use online banking all the time. So I think, very much the majority, probably more than 80%, but there's still a large proportion that is digitally excluded for a range of reasons. They might not feel comfortable. They might not, know how to use technology, or they might not just prefer it. And we always need to make sure that we're not leaving those people behind. And there are a lot of older people who prefer to use cash as well. We know that. So it is definitely concerning, the thought that there'll be less opportunity for older people to be able to get the services they need in the way that they prefer. It's good to see, I guess, looking for the silver lining in the announcement from Westpac. Good that they will still be having some face-to-face concierge services in those branches to help people use the apps or use the ATMs, use the deposit machines, because that is definitely going to be very much needed by older customers who don't feel comfortable using technology.
Well, that's certainly for the cash people. I mean, the idea that you can deposit in the same way, like back in the, thinking back to like the late 70s when I got my first little state bank passbook, you'd go in, you'd deposit the money yourself, you'd go in to make a withdrawal, you'd fill in your form. Oh, there's some people who find it easier to keep track of their money that way.
Well, absolutely, and I don't think that we should be, requiring everybody to abandon that. Cash is legal tender in Australia. My colleagues over at Coda Australia have been advocating for a mandated, cash to be able to still be used for essential services like banks and, energy and other services like that, which is a very, very good thing. We know that a lot of older people are also quite scared of technology. There's a lot of scams that go around, so it's not really unreasonable that people should be a little wary about using online banking or, anything where they don't have cold hard cash in their hands and they're dealing with a human over the counter. So you can understand that. I guess we're also concerned about that closure of a lot of regional branches and face-to-face services in country areas. There's not many options now for country people and particularly older people in the country. If you think that, Australia Post shops are closing, banks are closing, there's no sort of Telstra shops or anywhere that people could even go to get help with technology or their mobile phones. So we're hearing that libraries are really overloaded. People are going to their libraries as the only place left where they can get face-to-face services. And this is a real issue.
Yeah, it certainly is. Hey, good on you for flying the flag on it too. Miranda Starkey there, the CEO of the Council on the Ageing, joining us for Breaking It 8. I reckon the other thing with all this, and there's a superb piece up on the Tysers website. I think it's written by the technology reporter out of Sydney. Have you read it? It's the full backstory on how 4 years ago Optus decided, under this thing called Project Peacock, to move all of its high-end IT stuff to India. And they got rid of 100 local staff because they couldn't find a way that they could work from Australia with the people in Bangalore who are now running things like back-end call centre, triple O backup calls, so that if a call centre like triple O suddenly stops working, what's the workaround? So they lost all this local knowledge. And it feels like part of the explanation for what happened last week might end up involving the fact that there's not enough people on the ground in Australia anymore who know how these things work. And, I reckon this is it's a big cautionary tale. And Qantas as well, like the Qantas breach, that happened with someone from an overseas call centre who gullibly provided information over the phone to someone who then got into the system and they hacked everyone's personal addresses, email addresses, home addresses.
Well, there's no better signals to business than price signals and commercial signals. And if people say, like we got lots of text saying, Optus, enough's enough. Well, a byproduct of you, if that scenario turns out to be accurate, a byproduct of you chasing profit above all else is that your business is going to go kaput. So therefore, it stops being a smart business decision. So yeah, it's more than a cautionary tale. It's now a model for bankrupting your business, if that's how it ultimately does play out. So maybe that's the heartening part of it. Maybe they'll start saying the risk doesn't justify the financial reward.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna teach people a lesson, that's the way to do it, via the hip pocket.
Well, that's right.
Quentin from Alderanalla's back, our resident Gold Coast Suns fan. He was jury member number 2 yesterday. He's outed
still
himself.
fighting, still arguing.
He says, I still believe Matt Rowell had a better year than Noah Anderson.
You know what they both had? They're both all Australians. I mean, one was on the field, one was on the bench. They were both up there in the Coaches Award. I mean, one won it and one didn't. But I'm not going to argue with you anymore. I'm not going to argue the point with you, Quinton.
We love Quinton.
We love Quinton. Quinton's great. It's good having a Gold Coast fan that we can debate these things
totally.
with. Exactly right. They're lucky to have two terrific gun young midfielders. Let's check traffic and we'll come back with more in just a moment.
Morning there. Got a massive burst of waterway this morning at Vale Park. Really big delays inbound through North East Road at Ascot Avenue. Delays about 15 minutes at the moment. Busy at Fletters Park too. Holbrooks Road near Grange Road. Quite slow going South Road, Glandorf for the tram overpass works. And look out for a couple of cameras.
It came with the announcement now looks very, very shaky.
Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Deliver more with Toyota, the world's #1 forklift brand. Choose from a great range including pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts, right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options. Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. It's all part of the Toyota Forklift Advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blowing up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise.
Precise. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. We're helping life flow.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise.
Call Precise.
South Australians are being urged by our Premier and our government to back local seafood, and rightly so. We saw Peter Malinauskas cooking at home with Samtas gear, and then a whole bunch of federal MPs went and dined at Samtas. It reminded everybody that SA Seafood is safe, world-class and worth supporting.
Government scientists like Professor Mike Steer confirm our fisheries are strictly monitored and clean, and when you buy at Samtas, you're directly backing South Australian fishers and farmers from the Great Australian Bight to Smoky Bay, Wallaroo and beyond.
Love this stuff. Eat it all the time. From garfish, King George whiting to squid, prawns, blue swimmers, flatties, Smoky Bay oysters open daily. Samtas has Adelaide's biggest display of pristine Ocean Court seafood, and it's open 7 days.
And the famous Samtas 4 kilos for $60 mix and match. Premium seafood, freshly frozen directly from your freezer to the family table. Keeps your household budget steady while you enjoy the best. Just incredible.
Samtas Seafoods, 201 Richmond Road. Richmond, trusted by generations, backed by the best. When you want the best, it's always Samtas.
Life's a journey. As you grow older, every step should bring you more of what you want. And at ECH, they understand that. As one of SA's largest retirement living and home care providers, ECH offers more in every sense. More help at home, more support with your health, or the perfect new home to downsize to. ECH won't tell you where you should be, but they'll always support you to get more out of life. Visit ech.asn.au or call ECH today.
At Coles, you can save with great half-price game day snacks, like half-price Doritos or XXL corn chips, 150 to 170 grams, now just $2.50. Shop in store or online at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
25 minutes after 8, we've got a Care Alert Smart Dialer to give away this morning. Wonderful South Australian product by the Steele family, Mike and Darren. We love giving these things away because it's giving away peace of mind to South Australians. If someone's had a fall or got themselves into some sort of distress, you know that the family and emergency services can all be told at the press of a button. It's as easy as that. The way we give it away is we spin the wheel.
Oh, that's me.
Which is meant to represent random chance, but we know the wheel is stuffed. So we often have to spin it a couple of times. Anyway, each number corresponds with a birth year. Give it a spin, David. If it is your birth year that gets spun up,
close.
It is...
15.
You just need to be the first caller through. Now, 15 is the year 1939. 1939. So someone who is turning 86 this year or has turned 86 this year. We need you to call in and claim your Care Alert Smart Dialer. It's as simple as that. Call 8223 0000.
What's the oldest we've had?
We've had 90s?
We had 94 the other day. 94-year-old? Yeah. 86.
I reckon.
Or
I'm just
thereabouts.
looking at it. Yeah, I think we had someone born in the early 1930s.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
It was the oldest recipient that we've received thus far. So I think this is well within our capabilities. Shall we give away a clue for the grand final competition, do we think? All
Come
right.
on, the whole
Flights,
state is waiting.
tickets, accommodation. The grand final is just a couple of days away. It's going to be a proper spectacle. Lockie Neal sounds like he's fit and firing, so it'll be...
Oh, is he playing?
Yeah.
Seriously?
The pretty much full-strength Brisbane side to take on the Cats. It's going to take some winning that game.
Yeah,
of footy.
sad. Poor old dude. Imagine if the dude was out there.
It'd be great if the dude was out there.
Yeah, we'll get him on the show.
The dude will be back. Don't worry.
I hope so.
The dude abides.
We love the dude. The dude abides.
The 2025 Toyota AFL Grand Final, our comp, AFL authorised GF promotion, GFAFL 24/148. Today's clue, clue number 8, is April. The clue
April
is April.
As in sun in Cuba.
April sun in Cuba.
Okay. I'll Remember April by Miles Davis. Great song.
8223 0000 is the number. Paddy and M ready and waiting to take your call. April is the clue.
What happened in April in a footballing context?
April.
As in the month.
Could be referred to April O'Neil.
Who's April
Unlikely. From the Ninja Turtles. All right, Andrew in Westlakes has called in. That was a deep cut for you. Andrew, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, guys?
Good, thank you, Andrew. Have you been following the comp, mate?
Yes, I have.
Good, that's good, because we always get terrified at this point if someone rings in and says, the first I heard of it was this morning.
Yeah.
So have you heard all the clues, Andrew?
Yes, I have, yep.
Wow, that's excellent. Have you managed to follow along yourself, or did someone help you out and collect them?
No, I've gone along. I hope this one isn't too obvious. That's my only query on it.
Okay.
Obvious can sometimes be good.
Too obvious. Interesting. All right, step us through, Andrew, your thinking and how you got to your answer, and we will reveal whether or not it means you have tickets to the AFL Grand Final.
Clue number 1 is 1990, and Penko actually, I think, inadvertently gave away that he was born in 1990, which will make him 35, which was yesterday's clue. He was also born in April. His odd Guernsey number is number 13. He's played more than 230 games. He's 6'4". Yellow is for the Crows colours. Comes from West Lakes. It's Taylor Walker.
Wow, that just ticked every box, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
It is not Taylor Walker, Andrew.
Oh.
Sorry. Oh,
Andrew.
That fit. I was thinking with the height range that we gave was 6 to 6'4". Does he fit there? He's right on the edge of it, isn't he, Taylor Walker?
So there are more clues today.
193 centimetres. He does fit. No, there'll be another clue tomorrow, and tomorrow
Clue-a-palooza.
we just keep giving away clues tomorrow until we just give the tickets away.
Well, you know the answer.
I know the answer.
I've got a guess. I wrote it down yesterday, and I've got it hidden away in my wallet.
I think your guess is a pretty good one now.
Yeah, I feel like it is.
You haven't explicitly said, but you've given some clues, and I think you might be onto something.
I haven't given any public clues.
No, you haven't. You haven't.
No. Well, I might be wrong.
That guess,
it's happened before.
Just as I think back through it, it did tick every single box. Oh, so close. Tomorrow morning.
Bad luck, Andrew.
These tickets have to go off. This is it. We're going to start spelling the person's name tomorrow morning if we have to give them away, because we want you to get on a plane to the AFL Grand Final. 5AA News Time.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Cloudy and 18 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Treat dizziness, vertigo and motion sensitivity with vestibular physiotherapy. Visit neurophysio.com.au, part of Physio Extra Group.
200 Westpac bank tellers are facing the axe. The bank is expected to introduce concierges to its branches to assist customers use its app or website for basic banking services. The finance sector union says the move will strip away essential face-to-face banking and put profit before people. Break-ins at Brighton and Darlington this morning are believed to be linked. A chemist on Brighton Road was targeted just after 3 a.m. Peter Caldecott from 7 News has told David and Will he has seen CCTV footage.
Once inside the building, they had to smash their way through a screen door to get access into the chemist. And they were carrying like a baton and also a little backpack. And once they got inside, the managers told me they were very specifically targeting cough mixture.
A medical centre was also hit on the main South Road at Darlington. More big changes at Golden North. Not only are they moving production from Laura to Murray Bridge, they're expanding beyond ice cream. The company is looking to enter the cheese market. Their new site in the Hills is a former dairy, and Golden North also purchased the cheese-making equipment. Their workforce is forecast to double within 5 years. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese will formally meet with the US President next month. Jonathan Kersley is in New York.
The date has been set for the first formal face-to-face meeting between US President Donald Trump and Anthony Albanese, and it will be October 20. The Australian Prime Minister is in New York for the United Nations General Assembly, attending the President's speech earlier today.
President Trump agreed to a meeting some time ago. We had another chat about it on the phone.
Australia's Prime Minister could still see America's Commander-in-Chief in a matter of hours at an evening reception on the sidelines of the UN.
Australian scientists have developed a new way to see the hidden complexity of our genes. The computer tool reveals layers of gene activity which were previously invisible. Professor Ulf Schmitz says it opens fresh possibilities for understanding health and disease.
Think, for example, of a gene as a recipe with variations such as being gluten-free or vegan or extra spicy. And now we can use our tool and novel sequencing technology to unravel the whole recipe book with all variations.
Jimmy Kimmel's return to late-night TV is just hours away. Kimmel was suspended last week after comments he made following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The first show is due to be broadcast later today, our time. And Claudia Cardinale has died at the age of 87. The Italian actress appeared in Once Upon a Time in the West and The Pink Panther. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Ken Hinkley does not consider his extended tenure at Port Adelaide was a success. The Power reached 4 prelim finals during Hinkley's 13 seasons as coach. He's told Nine's Footy Classified he did his best, but it wasn't good enough.
I didn't have anything left to give, but I did everything I could with the playing group and the coaching staff. I had amazing people with me. And it's not just the senior coach now. We don't understand how many people are involved with the day-to-day operations of an AFL footy club. But ultimately, to make grand finals and to win grand finals is what makes you successful, and we didn't do that.
Brisbane coach Chris Fagan, meantime, wants to see Lachie Neale train flat out on Thursday before considering him for selection in this week's grand final. The Lions co-captain is racing against the clock to prove his fitness ahead of Saturday's decider against the Cats. Fagan has told Fox Footy he's still not sure whether Neale is ready to return from a calf injury.
If the medical staff and our fitness people give him the tick-off, then I'm going to back him in. It'll be interesting to see what happens. We need to get through training on Thursday, but he did a very, very hard session on the weekend, which our medical and fitness people were really impressed with. I think Lachie expects that he's going to be right to go, but we'll still wait and see.
Let's get to soccer. Liverpool has again left it late before claiming a dramatic 2-1 win against Southampton, this time to move into the 4th round of the League Cup. Chelsea also had to fight hard in its match against Lincoln. The Blues trailed 1-0 at half-time but came out firing in the second half with 2 goals inside the first 5 minutes.
Buonanotte with a flood of goal and he's walked it in, and Chelsea have come out of the blocks really firing.
And the Australian Diamonds have confirmed their leadership pairing through to the 2027 Netball World Cup, with Liz Watson to continue as captain and Kate Maloney appointed vice-captain. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Vale Park, a large burst water main causing really big delays inbound North East Road near Ascot Avenue. Huge delays also on Hampstead Road. Give yourself an extra 15 minutes if you're heading that way this morning. Flinders Park is busy. Holbrooks Road near Grange Road speeds at 40 and slow going Diagonal Road at Glenelg East. Cameras High Street, Wollonga and Milne Road at Richhaven. Look for the RAA sign at over 400 independent RAA approved repairers across SA. You know you can trust them because RAA do. Adelaide's most accurate traffic. on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast, cloudy and 18 for your Wednesday, partly cloudy tomorrow 20, Friday partly cloudy 22, Saturday a possible shower back to 19. Right now it's 14 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Thinking of right-sizing into a lifestyle that's uniquely yours? Keaton is ready when you are. Stay active, make new friends, or simply enjoy some peace and quiet. With a range of flexible options and amenities to make your next chapter your best one yet. Discover a retirement lifestyle full of confidence at one of Keaton's 4 villages across Adelaide and Port Elliot. Visit keaton.com.au to learn more.
At Edwardstown Mazda, we've got something no one else in Australia has. We have Advantage Plus. That means 5 years factory warranty, an extra 5 years mechanical protection, 10 years roadside assistance, even a guaranteed future trade-in price no matter how you pay. All on top of reduced showroom exclusive pricing. No wonder they're the most reviewed and highest rated dealership in Adelaide.
It's gotta be
Advantage Plus. Only at Edwardstown Mazda.
Just about everyone's been to the Kent Town Hotel, and for good reason.
We love the Kent Town. At ground level, you've got the same amazing menu as the restaurant and the Kent Bar, plus seating for 150 outside. That outside area is great. Perfect any day of the week.
But here's something you may not know. Upstairs is the Balcony Bar.
And the Balcony Bar has everything the Kent Bar does, including the menu. It's also one of Adelaide's most popular venues for private events for up to 150 people, including afternoon wakes.
You get your own bar, an outside balcony area that holds 80 people, and fireplaces to keep everyone cosy.
And it's completely separate from the 400-person function room on the same level, so you really do get the whole Balcony Bar to yourself.
So if you're looking for a great space for your next special event, check out the Balcony Bar at the Kent Town Hotel.
Fuel cards, receipts. Why does managing a fleet feel like I'm building flat pack furniture? Without the instructions. Don't ask why, ask Wex. Wex Motor Pass is the one card that works for everything. No fuss, no piles of paperwork, just streamlined fuel management across Australia. Finally, a fix that doesn't need an Allen key. Search Wex Motor Pass. Terms and conditions apply.
That was good, but for real satisfaction, Binge Basic is now just $4.99 a month for 12 months.
I love it!
Don't have Binge? Get it before October 20. And at $4.99, now that's satisfying.
A new battery rebate is here, and it's a game changer. The Cheaper Home Batteries program with NRG Solar makes smart storage more affordable than ever. Eligible homes and small businesses can save thousands, and households could slash power bills by up to 90% with a solar and battery combo. NRG Solar will guide you through and lock in the rebate before the masses catch on. Head to nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160. Don't wait. The smart move is to act now.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 to 9, the big breaking news this morning is that the Prime Minister has secured a meeting with US President Donald Trump. It'll take place on the 20th of October.
As I've said, President Trump agreed to a meeting some time ago. We had another chat about it on the phone, and we'll have a meeting in Washington, D.C. on October 20.
So the next question becomes some practical realities for Australia and indeed Australian businesses and citizens. What should be on the agenda? What are the risks? What are the opportunities for Australians and the Australian economy in the United States at the moment? And to answer all those questions, there's no one better positioned than our former Premier Stephen Marshall, the President of the American Australian Association. Stephen Marshall, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, Dave. Good morning to your listeners.
Always love having you on, Stephen. How long is it now since you've been in the States? You got there in January this year, from memory, wasn't it?
Yes, so this is my 9th month, and it's a very, very busy month, of course, because at the moment we've got the UN General Assembly, the 80th UN General Assembly, and also Climate Week at the same time. We've got nearly every world leader here in New York. The city is almost at gridlock. It really is an extraordinary time. President Trump has made his address in the last hour or so at the UN General Assembly, and it was pretty provocative. And he's a pretty provocative president, let's face facts. And so, but the big news for Australians, of course, is that our Prime Minister is going to meet with the President next month, and that's good news for Australia.
How do you see that meeting playing out, Stephen Marshall? Because obviously there's a lot of commonality, a lot of history in the relationship between the US and Australia. Our Prime Minister said overnight he regards it as Australia's most important relationship. Yet at the same time, as you alluded to rightly there, with the volatility of the Trump presidency, and we've seen that with his hugely blunt comments to the UN about the climate hoax and what have you. There's also pressure points over Palestinian statehood. How do you see the meeting between Trump and Albo playing out?
Well, firstly, I'm very glad that it's this week, because I think this is a very busy time for President Trump to be here. He's concerned about the war in Ukraine, that's for sure, and he's taken a big swipe at the climate week activities. That's not a good time for our Prime Minister to be having a meeting with our most important ally. That should be quite rightly in Washington, D.C., in the White House. And I think that affects the respect that should be given, not a side meeting here in New York during the UN General Assembly. So I'm very pleased that that's going to be the case.
This is an unscientific question, Stephen Marshall, so forgive me, but what's the vibe you're getting on the American perception of the AUKUS agreement at the moment?
It's variable, Will. Look, I must say I was very pleased when I arrived in the US that certainly in places like DC, everybody knows about AUKUS. I thought leaving Australia that it might be something that we knew a lot about that nobody else had ever heard of, or they might have thought it was about whales or something. But the reality is that people do know about AUKUS over here. It's very important. But there is a review underway at the moment by Bridge Colby. That's probably due sometime after the meeting that our Prime Minister has with the President. We're all very interested in what that's going to be. But the simple fact is that AUKUS is underway at the moment. Certainly Pillar 1 is very much advanced. So is Pillar 2 now fully underway. So let's see what the Bridge Colby view says. I think the thing that we need to be doing as a country is just emphasising why the AUKUS agreement is in the American best interest. Now, I think we know why it's in Australia's best interest. We've got bipartisan support there. But America is very much focused on America first at the moment. So it's really incumbent upon Australia to point out why this is in America's best interest. And I genuinely think that it is. The Indo-Pacific theatre is the most important, I think, to the US, and Australia is the southern anchor. Australia is the southern anchor of the Indo-Pacific, and the work that they're doing, especially in Western Australia at the moment, with some of the work that is underway there, is really important for our country.
Stephen, the work of the American-Australian Association has always been very bipartisan, very collegiate. Obviously, a lot of people who are successful in business are involved, but it's an organisation that has historically attracted involvement from people on both sides of the aisle, to use an American expression, Democrats and Republicans alike. Do you feel that sort of sense of bipartisanship is eroding in America? And no more spectacular example of it, I guess, than the horrific murder of Charlie Kirk. What's the atmosphere like now politically living in the US?
Well, look, you're 100% right. The American Australian Association was formed all the way back in 1948, just after the Second World War, by Sir Keith Murdoch. And it was all designed to strengthen the alliance between the US and Australia. And it's enjoyed bipartisan support, Labor and Liberal, Democrat and Republican. But to the sort of the nuance of your question, look, this is a country where there is a very clear divide. We don't have it quite the same way in Australia. We're sort of more of a centrist nation. People are moving towards the polar opposite here in the US. We see that with the media, and then we see this with the general sentiment. So it's different from Australia, but what I know is that most Democrats, Republicans, Trump camps do regard Australia very favourably. We're the only nation which has fought alongside the US in every single major conflict since the First World War. In fact, Australia is the only nation which has had somebody who has commanded US troops, of course, with General Sir John Monash. So we've got a special relationship. We are their trusted partners and allies. There's always some bumps along the way where people were looking at their own interests, but ultimately, it's in our national interest, both from an economic perspective and a national security perspective, to maintain that alliance as strongly as we possibly can.
Stephen Marshall, great talking to you. It's been a long time. In fact, I think the last time we spoke was
Tariff Day,
Independence Day, the day that in real time.
Liberation Day.
Liberation Day. That's right, Liberation Day. We were trying to work out exactly what was in and what was out, and we were doing it live with you on the radio, Stephen, which was terrific.
But, David, on that day, Liberation Day, I had every single economist in the world saying the world was going to go into a recession. There was going to be massive unemployment, massive inflation in the US. Look, can I tell you, inflation has hardly moved since the 1st of April. Their most recent GDP figures were at 3.3%, and as of a week or so ago, all three major indices were at their highest level ever. So, this is an incredible economy, and it can withstand things that other economies couldn't. If Australia tried to do what America did, there probably would be sort of very significant ramifications. But the depth, the breadth of this economy, it's the largest in the world, the largest source of capital in the world. It's the epicenter of the AI transformation. There's a lot of opportunity here for Australia, and that's what we're very focused on. And today, you talk about bipartisan focus. I've had Ambassador Rudd here. I've had Chris Bowen here twice today. We're all focused on Team Australia and making sure we can do everything to strengthen that alliance and that opportunity for Australia.
Our former Premier, Stephen Marshall, the President of the American Australian Association, talking to us from New York City. Great to catch up.
12 minutes to 9. The text line, Police Home Care text line, it's sort of divided along two lines. There seems to be a group of people who are rubbing their hands together and they can't wait to see what kind of madness comes out of a Trump-Albanese press conference. There's another group that don't believe the thing is going to happen altogether at all.
And everyone's barracking. There's people saying
bit of skepticism there.
They want Trump to go full Zelensky on him and give him the rounds of the kitchen. Others are saying that hopefully Albo won't take any you-know-what and might even walk out himself. So everyone's in their own corners. But, yeah, great chatting to Stephen Marshall. He sent me a great photo. So he's at this conference in this hotel at the moment. Look at that photograph.
Looks like a pretty good office.
It's 7 p.m. in New York City, and the view out of his hotel is of the Empire State Building. But he's got a Cooper's Pale Ale. He's knocked off for the day and he's having a paley. Coopers should use that.
That's
some of their promotion.
I think that's the exact kind of thing you need to be doing when you're running the Australian US business group, isn't it? Drinking local produce.
Well, I work for Liz Patterson.
Exactly.
Cultural attaché.
That's exactly right. We're going to check traffic and come back to wrap shortly.
Morning there. Got a big set of delays this morning at Vale Park. They're awful. In fact, it's due to a large burst water main. It's on North East Road near Ascot Avenue. Huge delays also on Hampstead Road. You'll need about another 15 minutes if you're going that way this morning. Crash at Burnside, Green Hill Road near Lockwood Road. Really busy Diagonal Road at Glenelg East near Brighton Road, with a camera at Woodford Road, Elizabeth North. Drive away in the latest Sprinter van from 69,900 and take your business to the next level with Mercedes-Benz Unley vans. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Fluorio Milk Company will always put SA first, and you can too. When you reach for milk, reach for Fluorio Milk Company products and support our dairy farmers and their families. We guarantee that all our milk is 100% South Australian and it's always fresh. We have over 24 refrigerated trucks shipping Fluorio milk to cafes, restaurants and supermarkets all over SA. Look for the local in your supermarket. Fluorio Milk Company. We're for SA dairy farmers.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months, At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
60 years ago, the wonderful Neville Mannix began a small South Australian family business.
And today, Mannix Air Conditioning is still family-run with 3 children and 7 grandchildren now part of the team. They've also grown to 5 locations across Adelaide, offering everything from tailored system design and installation to a huge range of cash and carry units, including spare parts.
Mannix always have and always will stock the best brands, including Fujitsu, Panasonic, Mitsubishi and Bonaire. They're way ahead of the game in solar too, installing over 5,000 solar and battery systems.
Because Mannix always buy in bulk, you'll always get the best price, and if there's ever an issue, their fast, friendly service department has you covered.
After 60 years and over 100 state and national awards, wow, it's no wonder that Mannix is still the name South Australians know and trust.
At Complete Care, we're more than just a care provider, we're a family. As we celebrate our 10th year, our mission remains the same, to empower our specialised team of carers and client service managers to help our seniors live independently. We provide personalised services including cleaning and home maintenance to social support and transportation. We look after you like family, offering a warm, caring touch that sets us apart. At Complete Care, we're the company with heart. Complete Care with a K.
Franco Zeffirelli's spectacular production of Verdi's Aida comes exclusively to Adelaide February 5 and 6, starring Jonas Kaufman, Angel Blue, and a cast of hundreds. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime event. Book now at Ticketek.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 to 9, congratulations to Judith from Windsor Gardens, who was born in 1939, the year that was spun up by the wheel this morning, and takes home a Care Alert Smart Dialer. Let's round out the morning talking cheese, shall we?
Cheese.
We're going to talk cheese with South Australia's most famous ice cream company. It'll make sense, trust me. Dimi Kyriazis is the director and co-owner of Golden North, who have acquired the former Best and Global Food Company dairy site in Murray Bridge, and they're branching out. They're diversifying into the world of cheese. Dimi, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're great, thanks, Demi. Hey, this is really exciting for such an iconic South Australian brand as Golden North. Tell us about this development.
Well, when the Beston Food site came available some months ago, we took the opportunity, my business partner, who's also investing in the business as well, to purchase that site. Being out at Laura, I think what people need to understand is there's a 600-kilometre round trip attached to everything we make when we're out at Laura. So moving to Murray Bridge, we get closer to the farmers, and we're also on the highway back to the east coast of Australia, where most of our products get sold. So it made perfect sense. And the bonus kicker was the Beston site is a functioning cheese factory, and there was room in there to put the Golden North ice cream factory right in alongside it.
So what type of cheeses are you going to be making, Demi?
Well, I'm glad you asked, David. Lots of hard ones. So you Edam, Gouda, Cheddar, Romano, Papato. I think we can do cottage. And what other variation we can create. Probably what's really exciting is we managed to retain a couple of staff members that used to work for the old Beston business, and Paul's one of them, and he's probably one of Australia's best cheesemakers you would find.
Yeah, right. Why the hard ones? What's the go there? Is that just the sort of the speciality?
It's the way the factory's set up. It's a hard cheese factory.
Yeah, okay.
It's not been built to make soft cheeses.
Yeah, right. I had no idea that there'd be such a big difference. I thought you might doff your cap to your heritage, mate, and make a Cephalo Graviera.
Well, it's always on the cards. We get to make those decisions now. So, look, times ahead are really exciting for our business. I like to think of us as creating something, along with the cheese products that we'll get into, as a business that people want to be dealing with. We want to be a company that's a lot less transactional and more relationship orientated with all of our stakeholders. And it's quite uncanny, you just having that conversation about all the IT issues that we have globally, when we want to ship all of the knowledge, Australian knowledge overseas, we become very transactional. And you can see what's happening with those businesses, and we don't want to be like that. We want to be a fairly relationship-driven business. And we've been talking a lot also with SADA, the South Australian Dairy Farmers Association. So Golden North moving to Murray Bridge is a lot bigger than just Golden North. It's also about being an active part in a dairy industry that needs everyone to pull in the same direction.
That's excellent. It was a great business story, a great South Australian story from a great South Aussie company. Dimmy Kiriasis there. Blessed are the cheesemakers.
Indeed. Let's have a look at the fuel situation. It's better to be a member with RAA Road Service. A lot of places have jumped up to $1.99.9, so they're around that $2 mark. However, there are a couple of cheapies still out there. The OTR Fullerton Road, $1.62.9, and the OTR May North Road at Thorngate, $1.63.9. But otherwise, you're going to be paying up around that $2 mark. The cheapest diesel, the OTR at Marion Road at $1.75.9.
Now, tune in tomorrow, folks. Cluapalooza, the grand final competition is going to go off. We know that it is not Taylor Walker, as of that guest this morning. And Will is the quiz master. And we're just going to do clue after clue after clue until somebody gets to go to the granny.
I got a funny feeling we won't need an extra clue. I reckon it goes off first clue tomorrow. That'd be my guess.
Well, I deliberately haven't told you my guess.
You haven't?
No.
You haven't. And the other thing is...
Ralph Zip Zap Sewer.
We originally wanted this... We thought, we'll give the comp until Friday, which we have in previous years, but on reflection, it's a bit tough getting people to jump on a plane at short notice. So no matter what happens, Thursday's always going to be that hard deadline. So there'll be as many clues as it takes. But I reckon I'll only take one more.
10 years to work it out.
Exactly right. 588 News is coming up. That's all for us.